All right, let's go on live.
Nigga. Let me check the YouTube. Let me check.
Yep, y'all got action.
Yeah, I was just about to go on YouTube and make sure we good and stuff. And yeah. Yep, we good.
I'm gonna actually just leave this up and
I was just about to go on YouTube and just make sure we good.
Just hit mute. So I probably.
Okay. What'd you say?
I just said I'm gonna leave this up.
Turn down your whoever got the YouTube up. Turn down a little bit. I hear the echo. Go ahead, Duce.
All right. I got a dip at 11, so I'm gonna start with the NFL and give FIFO time before we so we can wrap up with NBA.
Okay.
All right. Since we're rolling, this is a place where sports opinions collide. I'm your host, Nikki Duce, aka Mr. No Disrespect, aka I guess I got the best sports takes on the show. You know what I'm saying? So I guess this is no wonder I'm leading the lead dog on this.
No, you're funny. No, you're not. I'm just being nice. I'm just being nice and letting you be the captain today. Okay? I'm just being nice and letting you be the captain.
Well, you see, it's going to my head already. Goddamn it.
You know
that right there, BZ 430. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
And we got Shelton J joining us as well. What's up, man?
What's happening, man? How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
AKA the connections, AKA
the plug.
The plug, everything.
The plug, yeah.
This is what Benny say, the plug I met. That's
the plug, right. You know what I'm saying?
FIFO 24/7 is on the way. He should be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, we got, of course, our brother, basically, that in sports, a heavily affiliate. We got Manny Brown. How you doing, sir?
What's good?
What you got going on, man?
Just chilling, man. Watching Duke. Hopefully we pull this victory out and get Notre Dame.
Duke's still on TV?
Duke's still on TV?
Yeah, they still playing that game?
Hey, that community college that play up in Chapel Hill, they still playing? They still on TV? That's the team you need to be asking if this is on TV. Are they on TV? That community college?
Man.
North Carolina Technical?
Wow. That's the JV team we be putting out there.
I was gonna say, how's Duke been doing this year, man? You look.
We 2-2, man. We 2-2.
2-2.
We ranked 21st.
Two losses in a year.
Yeah, I know, man. We never rank this low this early in the season. You know what I mean?
I can't relate. I can't relate.
I can't relate either, man. I can't relate when you're used to being a perennial power for 40 years. I mean, I can't relate to being down. But hey,
so Manny, answer this for me. Would you consider this being an asterisk year for you?
Well, it depends on if we get this. I already think the college football season's got an asterisk on it. Like, I think of all the sports, college football has an asterisk this year. Like, I'm not considering whoever wins the national championship this year a legitimate champion.
But you consider the Lakers champions?
Yes.
Come on, man. So now,
first of all, Shelton, don't start with that nonsense. Don't start with that nonsense.
You're getting started already.
I'm letting them go.
Let me break this down.
Don't start with that nonsense because the Lakers didn't have a situation where the Eastern Conference played, 70 games, and then the Western Conference played 20. College football has that situation right now. The SEC's played 10 games. The ACC's barely played 9, 10, maybe. Then you got the Big Ten, who's only played like 5 or 6.
There's no home games. There's no home games in basketball.
Here, college football season's not legitimate this year, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, and I agree.
I love college football. I love college football.
To be honest, none of this was legitimate this year. I just don't think. I mean, it's great competition, but it's not legitimate.
You can't make the same comparison. College football and the NBA. The NBA finished their season. They concluded their postseason without any interruptions. fully. Everybody had the same circumstances. They played in the same circumstances. College football is not the same. It's like you got the SEC who played a full season. You got the Big Ten who didn't, the Pac-12 who didn't. And sure, people will say, oh, well, we would have in a full season, Alabama, Clemson, those teams would have probably still been in it. And of course, probably, but we don't know that for sure. Like, we don't know that. We don't know what Ohio State would have done.
Same thing with NBA. Charlotte didn't finish their season. Charlotte didn't get to come back.
Nigga, you know Charlotte was going to be nowhere near the playoffs.
But they weren't there. That's the point. It was
They
not
need
like
to be there because basketball is different. It's an 82-game exhibition season. Like, come on now. Right now, before the season starts, we know who the 8 playoff teams are going to be in each conference. Like, we know that. College football is not the same.
I just think the whole year has been an asterisk. We talk about Duke, for example. Duke, I hate Duke, but they have the greatest home court advantage of probably any other program in the world in any other sport, period.
Right.
When you don't have no fans in there,
that hurts you. Yeah, I agree.
Because they lost 2 home games, non-conference.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I guarantee you that Michigan State game, and I'm not taking anything away from Michigan State. They beat us down, but I guarantee you we had fans in the building. That's a different game. I'm not saying we win, but that's a different game.
Yeah, because college, especially college basketball, they really feed into the crowd. I mean, the crowd plays a big difference in college basketball.
Yeah.
And somewhat in college football too, but definitely in college basketball. Like the crowd is literally like the 6th man on the court.
Absolutely.
You know NFL football. Same thing in NFL football.
Yeah, I think it's hurt the NFL too. I think it's hurt all sports, man. For me, it's hurt all sports. The fact that
Shelton, so pretty much what you're saying. So you think NFL is asterisk too, no matter who wins the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah.
I disagree.
Pretty much all sports is asterisk.
All sports.
I disagree with that.
Well, look, I ain't mad. At least Shelton is consistent. I mean, so
you think about playing.
Shelton is stubborn. That's what he is. He just won't get off this damn point.
I respect him though. Shelton is consistent. I respect.
He's consistent
in football. Think about playing in Seattle, for example. This time of year, you can't make no calls. Ain't no audibles because you can't hear nothing. So it's nowhere near the same thing. You can hear every call. You know, you having to use hand signals for calls, and you got that 12 man breathing.
But
down your neck.
that is a part of the game. But that doesn't there's still 11 men on both sides of the field.
I think in football you have a point. I do think that it's hurt the NFL. I think it's hurt some teams. To what degree? I don't know. We'll never know, honestly. Right. I think it's had an effect on the NFL and these teams. Yeah. I agree with you on that. More so than like the NBA or baseball.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I said, it's just I think in every sport there was extra elements put in this year that nobody expected. The reason why I say basketball to me was an asterisk is because out of all the sports we talk about, basketball was the first one back. Basketball came back first. Nobody knew anything about it. They made it up on the fly. Okay, we're gonna do this bubble. We're going to invite certain teams. We're going to do it this way. We're going to stay together in these dorms. We're going to do, you know what I'm saying? A lot of players was like, man, I ain't really with this. Now, they went and played some teams like the Clippers. Clippers wasn't with this. They didn't want to do this. So the fact that they went and did it anyway, it's just.
But the issue that I have with calling it an asterisk is that everybody played under the same conditions. You know what I mean? Like everybody's playing in the same conditions. Like the Lakers had the same conditions that the Bucks did. Bucks had the same conditions that the Magic did. So I don't think that's a fair argument. The reason I say college football has an asterisk attached to it because if you look at the SEC played 10 games, Big Ten played 8 or 7 or whatever. However, I've lost track. Like, so I don't think that's a fair like over a slice of a full season. I think it's hard to say this season we know for sure who's the best team. Of course, in a full season, probably Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Ohio State are your top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, but we don't know that for sure, right?
And even in basketball, the conditions were the same, but it wasn't the same as years past. It wasn't the same as even the same year. Also, we talk about we think about that game 7, Denver and LA. Mm-hmm. Think about how electric it would have been playing that game in LA with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Those games would have swayed, even though it wouldn't have been the biggest sway.
But I think you've seen road teams. Like I still think Denver probably wins that series had it been a home court situation. Because I think you've seen teams. I think you've seen teams in the NBA do that. Like I think you've seen road teams come into in a game 7 and win win road games against in a tough crowd. You know what I mean? So I get your point, and you make a valid one. I just don't agree from a professional standpoint. Now, obviously, college basketball, we're like 4, 5, 6 games in, so it's hard to tell right now. Maybe January 20th, we'll be having a different conversation. But right now, I mean, if the season's kind of mismatched and hodgepodge together, and the ACC playing, I mean, Duke already canceled the rest of their non-conference. So I mean, you can make a case that maybe Duke season's got an asterisk on it because they haven't played their non-conference schedule fully, right? So yeah. I think the college ranks does have a legitimate argument more so than the pros.
Yeah, because for me, and we can go into the NFL with this. I don't really see much of an issue. I mean, the only thing that is the biggest issue is that if a player tests positive and they're like the quarterback or something like that, then obviously that compromises the game. But we haven't been seeing that happen too much lately.
Agree.
But Nick, think about a playoff game in Green Bay. Think about the atmosphere in a playoff game in Green Bay. To go in that stadium, as cold as it is, with those making that much noise. Like I said, you can't hear nothing.
But to me, that makes it. To me, it makes it the element of having no fans adds the element to the game. Because now, if you can hear everything, if you can't now it's just really. That's why I was saying it's 11 on 11. Like it's like all right, whoever's the best is going to be proven regardless.
I think to Shelton and Nick's point, I think you would have a point, Shelton, if and I think the two major sports, baseball and basketball, and the NHL have lucked out that none of their big players have gotten COVID or
That's
series, right? I think right now with the NFL, when the playoffs coming up, what if Patrick Mahomes gets COVID, right, and he misses, that divisional round game, and the Chiefs lose, then I think you definitely start looking at it like, would the Titans really be in the Super Bowl had Mahomes played? I mean, I think that helped. I think that helps your argument. But if everybody plays and everybody plays in the same conditions, then I think it's a little bit of a weaker argument to me, my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I just think that the crowd and home court advantage and home field advantage has been a part of sports since the beginning of sports. You go into some places, y'all don't play sports. Certain gyms, even for the basketball's sake. I played in gyms in high school that, wait a minute, this goal ain't right on this end. You know your gym as opposed to the opposing team. That's part of it. That's part of your advantage. When there is no advantage, it's just playing. It's cool. And it is man on man, mano on mano. That's what you're going to get. But it's still not, it's not your norm. It's not realistic to me.
Yeah.
The atmosphere, you overcoming the odds of going in somewhere, getting booed your butt off, and winning that game still means more than going in a neutral site. Just like if that's the case, you know how you went to tournaments and stuff like that, the camp. I don't know if you went to basketball camp in high school, but it was still a different feel than playing an actual game. It was a different level of energy than an actual game.
Let me ask you this question. Do you want sports or not?
I want it. I'm happy for it.
To me, so if you're going to have sports, then you're going to have to let it, let go and let God, as they say. To me, it's either you, because the asterisk conversation, it leads up to that point. Do you want sports or not?
Yeah,
if you want sports, then you're gonna take whatever you can get. We got Tyson and what's his name? Jones Jr. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We making it shape.
And the other thing about it too is this is something like COVID. None of us could have expected. This is something that only happens every 100 years. Something like that, right? So I think it's something that no one in their right mind could have foreseen happening, right? I think it's a little bit different throwing that asterisk around, knowing that's the situation that we're in. It's different if we were in a player strike or the season's shortened because of that. I think you could say maybe this is an asterisk compared to that, but for COVID, man, I mean, it's impacted everybody, every industry, the whole entire globe. I don't know, man. I just feel uncomfortable saying something's an asterisk. Plus, to Nick's point, we got sports, so we just got to be thankful that we just got something. I'd rather it be normal, but we have at least what we got, and that's better than nothing.
Yeah, especially if we're talking about that Monday night game against the Browns and the Ravens. I don't know if y'all checked that game out, but that was
amazing game.
Hey, that was probably one of. I don't give a fuck about the fans. That was probably one of the best games I've seen all season.
Yeah,
it was. But before we get into that, I don't want to bury the lead. The biggest news story of the day, something that I think deserves attention. Major League Baseball is finally elevating the Negro Leagues to be a part of the statistical history of Major League Baseball.
Oh shit!
You got to shine on.
Yeah,
you got to shine a light on
I saw
that.
that today too.
That's important. Finally, long overdue. 100 years overdue, but better late than never. So I just want to throw that out there before. Salute to Major League Baseball.
Yes.
Finally doing
Well,
it.
I don't know if I'm salute to them because they should have been done that shit.
They should have been done it, but hey, better late than never. Unfortunately, you know.
Yeah. Shout out to MLB. But yeah, like I was saying, shit. Based off that Monday night game that we got from the Browns and the Ravens, has Lamar proven that he's a legit QB?
He's a legit. I mean, he's always been a legit QB, man. I mean, I think he's
a legit QB.
No, I said no.
He's a legit QB. Like, you don't win an MVP your second year in the league and not being a legit QB. Has he proven that he can win a big time game on the road against a good team? I guess. I mean, that's if you consider the Browns a big time legitimate team. By record, yes, they are.
Yeah,
they're 9-3 coming into that game. They were 9-3 coming into that game. It was a good win, and the theatrics of it, I guess, helps. I have to see more from Lamar. The thing about Lamar is I know he can win regular season games. Right. What do you do in the postseason? That's what I got to see. I got to see Lamar Jackson.
But he's only 3 years in. This is his third year.
Right. But his 2 postseason appearances, he's had some stinkers. Like, he's had some all-time bad playoff performances. I mean, that game against the Chargers, his rookie year. I know he was a rookie, but that game against the Chargers, I mean, he set football back like 20 years.
Come on. As a rookie who didn't even start the whole season.
Hey, come on. He was bad. Nick, you can't even he was terrible in that game.
I'm not saying he wasn't bad, but as a rookie who hasn't played.
Yeah, you want to give him a pass. You want to give him a pass. Okay, that's fair.
And then if we talk about playoff records early on, Peyton Manning, a lot of other niggas did not do shit until like later on in their career.
Again, you want to give him a pass for that Chargers performance? Okay, fine. He was a rookie. I get that. Last year, there's no pass. They got destroyed by the Titans.
He was.
They got destroyed, and he didn't play well. He did not play well.
But that's why I say what I say when we talk about being a legit QB. He is a QB, and I root for this guy tremendously. I do. I just would need to see him perform in big games with his arm instead of his legs at times. I know that's what he does well, but we got to elevate to the next level. He has to prove.
Didn't he do that on Monday night? Like, didn't he throw the? Not only did he throw,
that was more of a broken play, a fluke play.
Yeah,
That's what Patty does. That's what Rodgers does. That's what a lot of these QBs do. They make something out of nothing. That's why we like him.
No, I applaud it, but what I'm saying is he had 163 yards passing. He's probably averaged about, I don't know what it is, probably about 180 yards per game. And in saying that, it's not all his fault at all. I'm not going to place the blame all at his feet because he has no wide receiver help. I thought getting rid of Hayden Hurst, the other tight end, was big because he had at least 2 options at tight end at least before they traded him away. So he has no.
I don't like Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is a hell of a tight end.
I'm saying he needed them both because
a 2 tight end situation.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he needed those 2 tight end sets because he needed both of them to work the field. Now he just had Mark Andrews and nobody else.
Look, I think Lamar has proven that he's a very good quarterback. I don't think any of us can disagree with that. He's won an MVP, a legitimate MVP at that.
Right.
He's a very good quarterback. But for Lamar to be great, to take that next step, to be immortal, whatever adjective you want to describe to describe a phenomenal quarterback, he's got to win the big game in the postseason. And not just a big game, but in a game where 3rd and 4, your team needs a big first down and you got to make a big throw from the pocket, he needs to prove that he can do that against a legitimate defense. And he'll have his opportunity this year because I still think they'll make the playoffs. So he'll have his opportunity. We'll see.
Yeah. And we'll definitely see what's going to happen going forward. But 168 yards is not – he averages, I think, 185 per game. And it's not. I
don't love that offense, man. That's another thing too. I just don't love that offense. Like they don't have great skill. I mean, they have a good running game, like Gus Edwards, Dobbins, Ingram. That's a good 3-headed monster at running back. And I love Mark Andrews, but outside of that, they don't have any game breakers on offense. Marquise Brown to me has been a disappointment. His second year.
Oh my gosh,
he's been a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not even a word.
Snead. I mean, they got a bunch of 2 and 3 receivers. Like outside of Andrews, they've got a bunch of 2 and 3 receivers, so they need to improve that skill set, that offensive skill set by a lot. He needs a big time wide receiver to help him out before they can take that next step as an offense. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
what I like on Monday night from what I saw from Lamar was that they let him, like, Sheldon, I know you're bringing up the passing yards, and he hasn't thrown for 200 yards in the last 3 games, but in the last 3 games he's 2-1. You know what I mean? Like, and granted, one of those wins was against Dallas, but Tennessee took him to overtime to beat them, and that wasn't on him. This Ravens defense is not what it used to be, or traditionally.
No,
in the sense.
Good point.
I mean, giving up 42 points against the Browns, that's horrendous. But what I liked was his comeback. I like Lamar. What was the biggest knock we had? That he doesn't come back, do well when he's down. He proved that on the road. He was throwing it. He was running. To me, I don't really, at this point, especially in the era of football we're getting into, with all these quarterbacks are being very mobile and their legs are an asset and not a liability. Why am I gonna bash a guy who throws for over $150 but also can run for 100 yards too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta start tolling, like, those are yards from scrimmage, period. So why am I, holding him back because he's not throwing as much as a Patty Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson? Like, he's special because, like you said, he won an MVP in the second year for something that no one else can do. You saw how he was running up and down on the Browns defense, making cuts like a damn wide receiver. Like, he's easily the best weapon on the field whenever he's active. To me, it's just like, we have to accept who he is as a QB. And when I ask the question, is he a legit QB? I'm only asking not because of the passing. I'm just saying, like, as a threat. Like, as an AFC contender, did he prove that he can lead this team further than what, their record shows? And I know the record isn't bad, but coming off MVP season, you're expecting him to, continue on elevating. And he had a lot of, hurdles he had to go through this season. But they still winning games.
Yeah.
The offense, I feel like the offensive coordinator is starting to open up the playbook a little bit more with more passing attempts and all that. But I was very impressed with the win, honestly. Like,
it was a good win. I mean, you can't take nothing away from it. A win is a win. In this league, a win is a win. And you can't take anything away from it. He won a big game on the road. And then the theatrics of the moment, obviously, coming back from, cramps, allegedly, whatever you want to think it was.
He had to take a shit. That's all it was.
For sure.
It was a big time win, man. I won't take anything away from it. I think the focus on Lamar with his throwing is so, is so emphasized, right? Is because we've seen it with quarterbacks of that guild, of that ilk, right? That as soon as the athleticism starts to deteriorate, as soon as they get older, what's the first thing that goes? Speed, right? And I feel like this has happened with Cam Newton, right? Where we always used to say, yeah, Cam is just a physical force out there, but as he starts to age, as injuries start to catch up, you have to evolve and adjust your game and become a better pocket passer. And that's the worry that I think a lot of people have with quarterbacks of Lamar's ilk, that, if they rely too much on their legs, if they rely too much on trying to make throws or trying to make, something out of nothing with their legs, then eventually you kind of fall back on that as a crutch. And then when you get older, when you get into your 30s, at 32, those legs ain't the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you gotta
have that old man game.
Exactly.
Like
you have to
Right,
evolve.
that's what I'm
And not
talking
saying that Lamar is not going to do that, because
Right.
we haven't seen it yet, right? But
right.
that's, I think, the issue that has happened, that has plagued Cam Newton, right? Where Cam used to be just a freaking tight end playing quarterback, essentially. And
because Donovan and Randall Cunningham did a good job of, like, transitioning their game.
But
like,
Donovan made a focus. But Donovan, remember when he came into the league, he made the focus of not being a quote unquote running quarterback. Also, it was a different league back then. The racist view of black quarterbacks back then was more emphatic too. But true. Donovan himself made that emphasis of, like, no, I'm gonna make myself into a better pocket passer, because that's only going to help me in the future. And I think I think that Lamar has to do that too. Now, obviously, you don't change, you don't steer away from what's giving you success, but I think that you do have to start trying to evolve your game. And you start evolving at a young age. I mean, you start evolving now, so that way when you're 32, you're 33, it's more of a seamless transition than,
Right. And that's just the biggest thing, is just being able to prove you can do it and win those type games as well. I saw some people in the chat mentioning Kyler Murray, and the thing about Kyler Murray is true. that he had some of those games too where he throws for 180 yards. But the difference is he's proven he can throw over 300. He's done it. When he needs to, he does
Same
that.
thing with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they do it when they need to. They don't always throw for 300 yards. I'm not saying this man needs to throw for 300 yards a game. I'm just saying if that run is taken away, you got to prove that you can get the ball downfield to your receivers. You just got to prove it. And
I don't give it. To me, it's all about getting first downs and touchdowns. However, how you put points on the board is somewhat irrelevant because we've seen various iterations of different offenses like the Wildcat, whatever the fuck, like things that, these gadget plays that we see nowadays. Like, it's all about putting points on the board. Like, what I like where the NFL is going is that you don't have to do it traditionally anymore. You don't have to have a statue back there throwing 300, 400 yards and having an aerial assault. Like, you can do different things. You can make the game more creative than what we've been seeing. Like, that's where the Ravens offense was so unique last year. Now, this year, people have, studied up on it. But Lamar is still a threat anytime he has the ball in his hands. And to me, he could even had a better game if it wasn't for his cleats, fucking up in the first half. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, that's true.
And he's a better thrower of the football than I think people give him credit for. Like, I actually like him when he focuses, stays in the pocket, makes those throws, goes through his progressions or whatever. I think he can be a better. I'm not saying it like as a knock that I don't think he can make those throws. I actually think he can make the throws. I want him to focus more on doing that because that's only going to help his explosiveness. It's only going to help his running, his ability to break containment and make plays with his legs.
Sticking to that same game, my next question, we talking about QBs. There was another QB who kind of, I think, wowed some people with his play, and that's Baker. Did he prove, to the Browns that there's, some reason to keep him for the future, or is it all said and done? Are they going to draft another QB?
No, they'll keep him. They've got a lot invested in Baker Mayfield, and he's had a pretty decent year. But Baker is what he is, man. To me, he's a Jeff Garcia. He's a Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a good quarterback. You can win with him. I think he's limited as far as you're limited as far as how big you can win with him. Can you win a division title with a Baker Mayfield if he plays absolutely well? Yeah, I think so. Can you win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield? I don't think so. But they drafted him number one. He's been their guy. He's been their face. I don't think they're getting rid of him. I think this season was a big season for him, and so far he's responded. I think they have the perfect game. I think they have a very good coach. I think Stefanski is a hell of a play caller. I think he's done a really good job. He plays to Baker's strengths. Now that they don't have that spectrum of OBJ and, whether he's getting enough touches and, all the things that OBJ brings, I think he feels a little bit more relaxed. Just going out there and playing. Look, Baker's Baker, man. He's liable to have a big game like that he had on Monday night, and then he's also susceptible to go out there on Sunday and have a QBR of 2. Like, that's just who Baker Mayfield is. Like, so you just got to live with the ups and downs of him.
Well, I think that Baker he had a great game. You can't take nothing away from him in that particular game, but that's more of an aberration than it is a norm. That's not he ain't gonna do that often at all. He's getting better this year, but I just don't see him as being the answer for the franchise there. I don't. I never have.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to draft a I don't think they're going to pull the plug right now. No,
not yet.
They're still 9-4. They're probably going to they're going to make the playoffs. And they've got a good, solid young coach. They got some weapons. I think they're going to stick with him. They're going to stick with him for better or for worse.
I don't think they really have a choice now. If somebody comes available, like say a Dak, for example, I don't think they'll stick with him.
The Baker's the guy.
They got too much money tied up to other positions to, I feel like, to acquire Dak.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Baker's on the contract that he is, that rookie deal, is probably the biggest reason why they still keeping him.
Mm-hmm. Next year's gonna be big for him because I think next year's the 4th year of his rookie deal. So
yeah, they're not gonna pick up that 5th-year option though.
You wouldn't trade
if he plays well next year, they're going to have a conundrum, right? Because if he plays well, that's going to be 2 years where he's played well. There's no reason not to pick it up, So I think next year is very important for him and the Browns. If they come out next year and have a similar season, he plays well. Now you have a real debate on your hands, right? Do we keep Baker and do we run it back with him and make him our guy going forward, or you go try somebody else?
That's a good point. Speaking of another QB who could be the starter or be the new leader of the franchise, Jalen Hurts had a hell of a game on Sunday against the Saints, the top-rated Saints in the NFC. What were y'all thoughts? Should Jalen Hurts be the starter for the rest of the year?
My thoughts is just like we talked about in the chat. I told you so. I've been saying it. I said it last week. I said the week before. I've been saying it. Jalen should have been out there, and I knew he was. Everybody thought that this game was a setup game. It was not a setup game. It wasn't. Jalen was exactly what I thought he was. He's steady in the pocket. He's a steady presence, and that's what that team needed. Just like we talked about before, as your quarterback goes, so goes the team. Sometimes you need to change to energize the whole group. That's why the defense played good. They believed in the quarterback. The defense showed up. That defense ain't played all year. And they showed up in this game, that first half. Now, second half is a little different, but they still pulled it out. You know, they faced adversity and came back. But when you change the signal caller, it changes the whole mentality of the whole team, from the coaches on down. And we saw it there, if not evident any other place. Should he be the starter for the rest of the year? I don't know about that. The only reason I say that is because you do have all that money invested in Carson. I would think he should be the starter. Personally, I do. But taking my personal feelings out of it and think about the team, you got a lot of money invested in this man. You really want to see what his bounce back game was like. And the whole reason for sitting him down was so he could watch the game, so it could slow down for him a little bit. He could get his nerves under him and see how it's kind of done a little bit. And then maybe you put him back out there to see what you got. But to me, Jalen just proves what he is. He's steady, he's solid, and he did what it took to win. Now, there's nothing wrong with running the ball and doing what Lamar does. It's just you need to be able to make that throw too. As long as you can make that throw on 3rd and 8 and make something happen, then it's all good. But Jalen had a heck of a game, and I knew he had a good shot to win that game. Now, is he going to struggle if he continues to play this year? He definitely going to struggle a little bit. But I think he's better than people give him credit for.
I think he should be the starter for the rest of the year, just because, honestly, once you make that move, you got to stick with Jalen until at least the end of the year and see what he gives you. Because, I mean, why make that move now? You just stick with Carson Wentz and then just,
Well, because the division, I think, is still up
it's
for grabs.
It's still up for the grabs, but this is a move right here. First of all, it's a desperation move, and it's also a move that you're thinking about the future, right? So you're thinking about, okay, is this a guy that we're gonna keep investing on? And by guy, I mean Carson Wentz. Is this a guy that we can really trust and invest the rest of our future in? Or do we see what Jalen Hurts has? Plus, Jalen Hurts is a guy you drafted in the 2nd round. You know, this isn't a guy you just throw out there for a couple games and see what happens. Like, no, they actually invested a 2nd round pick on this guy. So to me, once you pull that trigger and you pull your quote unquote guy for a guy you drafted in the 2nd round, you gotta at least give him 3 or 4 games, right? Like, to see what happens. So
I think it makes sense to keep him as a starter, just for the fact that I think Philly realizes they're 2 years too late on the rebuild. I think what they thought they had, I think, what I mean by rebuild is that I know they signed Carson Wentz to that, you know, he's the 3rd highest paid player in the league. But I think they went into it knowing that, okay, most of these guys that we got on the roster are going to be, you know, retiring soon or leaving to go get another payday. At least we got the QB. I think they made a mistake on paying Carson, but that's my personal opinion. But it's showcasing out on the field, because I don't think Carson, who went from basically a Super Bowl to bust now, as far as the team itself, I don't think he's a quarterback built for that. Granted, he's a young QB still, but I think he got used to winning, and being surrounded by all this has corrupted him to where now he needs to go into another situation like Indy, where if he plug and play, he's got all those pieces around him. He's got a good defense, is what he had.
His former OC,
good defense with what he had when they had that Super Bowl run, his MVP year. I think that's a better situation. I think Jalen Hurts is the right QB for the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward. He fits the scheme as far as where football is going QB wise, because he's more athletic than Carson Wentz, and he's making better decisions so far from the 2 games that we've seen him in. I say keep him in and then try to move Carson Wentz in the offseason.
Do you think that Philly would have won that Super Bowl had Carson played the whole time?
Yes, I think Philly was destined to win that Super Bowl regardless, and it's showing that any QB they would have put in at that time would have gone deep in the playoffs. Maybe not won a Super Bowl, but between if Nick Foles and Carson Wentz both have a legitimate case to say that I helped win that Super Bowl. Mostly Nick Foles, obviously, because he made the throws, but you can also argue how do the Eagles get to the seeding they get? Do they even have a playoff team based off record if Nick Foles is a full starter? So for me to get to that point of trying to argue either side, you have to recognize that this team is just probably going to be a good team and win regardless. Just like that Ravens team with that 2000 team. If you can have Trent Dilfer as your quarterback, then you can win with anybody. Y'all was probably going to win it regardless.
It's interesting with Carson Wentz, man. That I think there's a lot. I mean, we could do a 30 for 30 on this whole situation with the Eagles and Carson Wentz. I think a lot of issues played. It's a multi-layered issue, right? I don't think you could just point it to just being, just Carson Wentz sucks, right? I think it's a multifaceted, multi-layered thing. I think they brought him back too quickly from injury. I think that's one. I think the Nick Foles effect, I think that locker room really was galvanized by Nick Foles in a way that I don't think even the media or us or whoever at the time, could have foreseen. Like when you win a Super Bowl with a guy and to a man, everybody loves Nick Foles. Like dudes would die for that dude, right? Like everything you hear about, he's just not just a great quarterback or a great postseason quarterback or whatever, but a great human being. So he galvanized that locker room. And I do think that when the Eagles rushed to bring him back and basically were quick to discard Nick Foles, I think he lost a lot of people in that organization, in that locker room. Like, I think there was a split in that locker room and in that organization. Like, are we really doing the right thing here? I don't think from Roseman or the ownership, but I do think there were people, coaches included, that were split on that, right? So I think Carson Wentz has been at a disadvantage ever since, right? Like he's been playing defense ever since, because when they won the title, he was not the guy holding up the trophy. It was Nick Foles, right? And then of course he comes back the next year, plays well. They're in a position to make the postseason. But who again leads them in the postseason the last 4 or 5 games of that season? Nick Foles, right? And he gets them, wins that game against the Bears or whatever. So that's had an effect on it. Plus, you can't discount this, man. Roseman has had a terrible run as a GM there, the last couple of years. I mean, he hasn't surrounded Carson Wentz with any talent from the skill positions, right? Like their offensive, their receivers are terrible. Their running game was terrible. I know they've added Miles Sanders since then, but I think it's been a failure on the coaching, on the executive side of things. I think Carson Wentz has had his faults on this whole situation. I think the Nick Foles thing can't be understated. I mean, I think it's been a multi-layered, multifaceted thing. And it's going to be interesting to kind of dissect it, when this is all over, if and when Carson Wentz gets traded, maybe if Doug Peterson gets fired. I think Jalen. I doubt. I don't think Peterson gets fired. No, yeah. I agree.
Especially if they somehow, some way win the division, he'll have back-to-back division titles, which hasn't been done in that division for like 20 plus years. So
they won't win the division. They won't win the division, but I think Doug Peterson can say, hey, trust me with Jalen Hurts. I helped you pick him. He's the guy. We're going to move forward with him. Like, this was a move to save Doug Peterson's job. So that's why I think Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I can see
Plus,
that.
we're talking about rebuilds too. For Carson Wentz, like if Josh Rosen got a 2nd-round pick, if Sam Darnold can potentially get you a 2nd-round pick, Carson Wentz can get you a 1st-round pick easily, right?
Well, the contract is what people are going to mostly say, this is what I'm taking on. This is what I'm alleviating you from the Eagles. Like, because that contract, $60 million, it'll be a $60 million cap penalty if they I forgot how they cut him or whatever. Like,
yeah,
he's owed so much money. It's like, all right, we'll take this on and
You're
we'll
right.
give you a third or a fourth or whatever.
Nah, they're gonna get a second. They're easily gonna get a second. I mean, if it wasn't for the contract, I would make the argument that they could easily get a first round pick.
Yes, I agree.
You're right, is going to limit what they can get for him. But I think they easily should still get a second round pick. Easily.
Yeah,
because you could sell, even with his contract, you could still sell to a team. Let's say Indy. He's better than any quarterback you're going to pick in the second round.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got value still, no matter what.
Especially if he goes back to his OC. Last question I got for the NFL before we move on to our picks for the week. Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh on Sunday night looked. I haven't seen them look that bad since probably ever in my lifetime. Should Pittsburgh draft the QB this upcoming offseason?
Yes.
And I say that because Big Ben looks like he is.
Yes.
Time has passed him up.
They should have drafted one like maybe 2 seasons ago just to have him on the clipboard. You know what I'm saying?
I think they tried though, B. They tried.
Oh, didn't they drafted some young dude before?
Rudolph. They drafted Rudolph.
Yeah,
man, the only Rudolph I acknowledge got a red nose. Ain't nobody give a damn about that nigga, man.
Now, but at the time they did.
Right. Yeah, but they definitely should go after a QB. I think you got to get him ready because it's only a matter of time with Big Ben. It's only a matter of time.
The time is now because they tried before though with what's the guy from Georgia, the other quarterback they had, Landry Jones. They had Landry.
Oklahoma.
They tried with him.
He was terrible.
Yeah, and
wasn't he like 35 when they tried to use him? Like he was bending the league for a minute.
Landry didn't work out, and then they tried. Like I said, they tried Mason, who's from my hometown, by the way. They tried Mason, and that ain't work out.
I say they should go into a different direction, but I brought up the idea, and I think in the Reddit thread for Dead End Sports, what if they made a trade for Haskins? You know, like I see
Darnold or even I know Carson Wentz's contract, but I mean they should be in on any quarterback that's available. I agree with you. Yeah. I think it's time to start. You know,
yeah.
I'm not. This is.
I like the Darnold look.
I still think you can win with Big Ben. I think you're gonna have moments with Big Ben where he just doesn't look great because of his age. And that loss on Sunday wasn't on Big Ben. That was a team loss. That pick six was, you know, but overall in all though, it wasn't like, oh, they would have won had Big Ben played better. They just got destroyed in the second half.
What hurts them is they have no running game.
No, you need that in the play.
Yes.
You need that in the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't have any running game.
Yeah, they need a running game, man. Their running game is just not impressive. Yeah, true. I still think Big Ben can win you. I still think you got at least about another season of Big Ben if they surround him with the pieces. And I think they have the pieces. They got a good offensive line. They got a good receiving core. They just need to upgrade their running game.
Yeah.
But they do need to start drafting a young quarterback and getting that quarterback pampered and ready to take over that job in 2 years because it's long overdue. Dobbs isn't the answer. We all know about Rudolph. Duck Hodges, forget about it.
I was hoping Dobbs was though, and you know I saw where they were talking about how Big Ben respects Dobbs. Like when he comes off to the sideline, that's the first person he walks to talk to. But Dobbs is in street clothes, so in saying
Dobbs is a back.
Dobbs is shitty. That's why he trusts him.
He's a career backup. He's not doing anything for this dude. Yeah, they need a legit. I mean, they should be in on all the quarterbacks in this draft coming up.
Sam Darnold is who they should be. And see, the thing about it is they can't be in on the quarterbacks on the draft because the draft picks aren't going to be high enough to get one that's going to make an impact. That's what's hurting them. So they're going to have to find something via trade or free agency for their replacement. Like you mentioned Darnold, and like I said, that to me that kind of fits. They
would have to give up a lot to get him though.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it.
You could get Sam for a second because think about it. If Josh Rosen got Arizona a second round pick and I think a conditional 5th or 6th, that's the same package you could get. You can get that for Sam Darnold easily.
I think you get it cheaper for Haskins. I would love to see Haskins with Tomlin to see if he can fix the brother because I feel like that's wasted talent in Washington right now.
It is wasted talent. I just think Darnold is more ready. I think he's more.
Yeah, Haskins.
I hate saying it because I'm a Haskins fan, but I'd rather have Sam Darnold over
Haskins is disappointing me, and I loved Haskins coming out of Ohio State, but he just hasn't. He's had opportunities too, and that Redskins team's got talent. You can't say that team does not have talent. That team's got a good nucleus of offensive of players, right? He just hasn't done the job. Like he got to be straight. You know what I mean? We all pro brother here, but like the dude just hasn't. Now we'll see. He's got an opportunity now to finish the season, hopefully, or maybe. So we'll see, but Haskins just really hasn't answered the bell when he's been given the chance. So I don't know how it's going to be that much different in Pittsburgh, but we'll see.
Right.
You could say the same thing about Darnold, but Darnold's playing with forget taxi squad players. I mean, he's playing with fucking Adam Gase for one as his head coach. I mean, nobody's going to be successful.
I've at least seen flashes from Darnold. Put it that way. I've seen him make a few nice plays, not a lot, but a few.
Hey, Manny, you think you're just gonna join the 0-16 club?
Yeah, they're going 0-16, man. They're the game for them to win was the Raider game. That was the game. They had it, and once they lost that game, yeah, it's over, man. And then they fired Greg Williams. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that team hasn't quit on that. That's a credit to the guys in that locker room that they haven't quit on that head coach, because I thought they would have quit.
I think they probably already did. The GM was like, "Look, y'all, just play a few more games. This nigga gonna be gone."
No, they've played hard. They just don't have any talent. You know what I mean? Like it's a difference between you got talent but you quit, and then you just don't have talent at all. But they play hard. It's just they don't have talent. They're just non-competitive. They don't have the talent. You know what I mean? The game that they had 2 games this year where they should have won that they gave away. The Patriots game on Monday night and the Raider game. That was their opportunity. That was the difference between 2-14 and 0-16. So
why do you think? A quick question, Manny. Why do you think they still playing Frank Gore?
Because Adam Gase is still the coach, and Frank Gore is one of the guys in the league that absolutely vouches for Adam Gase.
Oh, okay.
That really is. Adam Gase and Frank Gore are tight.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
God knows why. I don't know, but they're tight. He's a big proponent of Adam Gase, and Adam Gase is a big proponent of Frank Gore, and that's really the reason. To be fair, I mean, LaMichael Pirine hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities, but he really hasn't impressed either. So
right, I was still. I mean, even though I want Frank Gore to get stats because he's moving up that rushing board. I like the fact that he's playing. If it was my decision, I wouldn't let him play. It would be Pirine for me. Yeah,
it'd be Pirine. You got to see what Pirine is, right? But Frank Gore is an Adam Gase guy, so that's why he's playing.
Yeah,
man. I'm just happy this man he's still in the league, boy. Frank Gore been in the league for about 40 years, man.
That's crazy, bro.
And he gonna get you 30.
And he's still decent. Like he's not bad. He's not a featured back. He's not a featured back anymore. But like on a good team, like on the Steelers, I like him better than Benny Snell.
Yeah, I would too. He's gonna get you 30 to 60 yards a game, and that's
he could still get you. He could still get you 40 yards.
I check his stat line every game. It's between 30 and 60 yards, no matter what.
Still decent.
Yeah, that's it. He's still starting games. So, but I just saw today where it's serious talk that Trevor's not going to go to. He's going to pull a.
Eli,
where are you hearing this from?
Eli.
Nah, he's going to.
Today. I saw it.
This is the thing.
Manny's heart before Christmas.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? So everybody brings up this whole thing with Trevor. First of all, you can't grade that. You can't think like Trevor Lawrence is going to think looking at the Jets now. You got to look at what the Jets are going to look like in April. First of all, they're going to have $98 million in cap space. Adam Gase is going to be gone, right? Nobody survives. I don't care if Adam Gase has naked pictures of Chris Johnson's daughter. Like, you can't survive 0-16. Like,
yeah, you can't.
So
survive.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Even if he was the night, like he could basically have the stamp seal of approval of Martin Luther King reincarnated. Adam Gase is gone. So Adam Gase is gone. Joe Douglas is a respected GM who's rebuilding that team. They've got like 12 picks in the first 2 rounds in the next 2 drafts coming up. $98 million in cap space. And it's New York. Like, this isn't like, Trevor Lawrence is and the other thing about it too is like, who's the next option? Jacksonville? It's like, so you rather go to Jacksonville than the Jets? Like, come on now. Like, as bad as the Jets are not Jacksonville. Like, Jacksonville's an also ran franchise.
It's a warmer climate.
True, but it's New York. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence goes to New York and resurrects the Jets, like, come on, dude. Like,
but that's a huge if, man. And I know
he's going.
It's a Wednesday night. I know you probably had a couple, glass of wine or whatever, but I don't think we're gonna be drinking on this one because how many times have we've said that about QBs going to New York, especially the Jets?
True.
Like,
absolutely, that's true.
A lot.
Sam Darnold was supposed to be the guy. Darnold was supposed to be the guy. But the thing about it is too, like, hopefully the Jets have a unique position right now to do a complete 180 and a do-over. Because with Sam Darnold, right, I think Sam Darnold would have been the guy, but what happened? They gave him Todd Bowles for the first year. Obviously, Todd Bowles was on his way out, wasn't the guy to coach him. And then who do they hire? The most important coaching hire they had to make, and you get Adam fucking Gase. Like, it's like you everybody can sit there and look at, say, Sam Darnold wasn't the guy and he was a bust, but I mean, look at what the Jets have done. They haven't surrounded him with any talent, and then you hire possibly the worst coach in football. Like, not even possibly. You hire the worst coach in football, a guy who was fired by your biggest rival in your own division. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Now the Jets have a unique opportunity to draft a once-in-a-generation talented quarterback. And you have a coaching opening, so who knows who you hire as a coach? I have some guys that I'm interested in seeing the Jets, be the next Jets coach.
You may have an opening.
He's gonna get fired. Bieniemy is a guy that I like. That I would like to see the Jets go to the Jets. Joe Brady, the OC of the Panthers. I'm still a Jim Harbaugh guy. I think he's a better NFL coach than he is a college coach. I wouldn't be mad if the Jets got Harbaugh, because I think he would be a guy that comes in there and easily can turn around a culture.
I think he's already got that contract extension with Michigan, or like it's looking like he's gonna get that.
Yeah, I don't think he's leaving Michigan. I don't think he's leaving Michigan.
Yeah, he said he's committed to Michigan, so
I don't think he's leaving Michigan. But I'm saying he would be a hire. I know that's unpopular amongst Jets fans. Like, Jet fans don't want Jim Harbaugh. Like, Jim Harbaugh is still a very good coach.
I fuck with Jim Harbaugh. I just think
I still think he's a coach. I mean, even I wouldn't even be mad at Bill Cowher. Like, I like the there's a lot of rumors going around that Bill Cowher wants to come out of retirement to coach the Jets because of Trevor Lawrence. I think Bill Cowher is another guy that can come in. He can have that Parcells effect when he comes in there and he instantly changes the culture of the franchise. He's going to come in there with no nonsense. You already know how Bill Cowher is, a Hall of Fame resume, Hall of Fame guy. So I wouldn't even be anti that. Look, the Jets have a unique opportunity here to do a complete 180, man. You can. The good thing about the Jets is you can't go anywhere but up, right? There's no worse level to being a laughingstock and being 0-16. So by law of averages, you're bound to get better, right? Now, better could still be 2-14, but even that's an improvement over 0-16.
Right.
Look where the Browns.
That's what I was saying. We saw the Browns take that route. So
exactly,
it's possible.
Exactly.
Hey, last football note, real quick. I don't know if you saw, but Louis Riddick is interviewing for the Lions GM job.
Good. Get him out of Monday Night Football because he's terrible.
Yeah.
What? For real?
So, yeah.
So he's had other GM opportunities in the past before too, though, right?
He got passed up, and everybody couldn't believe. I forgot what team it was, but everybody was like, they just couldn't believe he didn't get that job.
He feels like an executive. He's not a great broadcaster.
You don't like Louis Riddick, Manny?
Nah, he's terrible on Monday Night Football. No offense to the brother, but he's terrible.
He's Monday Night Football is a hard gig. It's a hard gig.
Yeah, it is a hard gig.
Greasy's okay. I like Greasy.
Yeah, I think the Lions organization is definitely gonna hire a GM first, so the GM can pick his coach.
Yeah, but I think Louis Riddick knows football. I think he's a good. He looks like he's a guy that would be a front office guy. So I think that'd be a good.
He got the suits for it, boy.
Yeah,
that man is clean. I give him that. He can't call the game for shit, but he's got the suit.
He's interviewing for the Texans job as well, B. So y'all got a little competition on there.
Okay.
Who do y'all think the Texans will hire as a coach? I'm curious.
I gotta see. They need a GM first before I even think about a coach.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they left Deshaun out there, they was like, "Look, take this money because we about to do some shit to your career.
We just about to fuck it up,
bro." Like, I'm really sitting back thinking, like, who had a worse year? That's why I asked you last week, like, who had the worst?
I feel so bad for Watson, man.
Or Houston, like. That situation is gone. Like, you lose
they're not that far away though, too. Like, they're not that far away because they do have Deshaun Watson. Yeah, but that division's still not. I mean, that division is not. They're not playing against the Chiefs.
I mean, you got the Colts just don't know how to quit.
Colts are a good football team.
They always
the Titans
they
are a
always
really
end up
good
with
football
10
team.
games. Yeah, they always end up with 10 wins.
Good team, but that division's not impossible.
Jacksonville's one QB away from being a
Decent.
playoff team.
Decent.
I believe so.
Yes.
I think they got. You talk about the what team? Like to me, Jacksonville is like the Broncos. They got a good bunch of young players, but they're still trying to figure some things out at QB and coach and head coach. And then who else is in that division?
Texans, Colts, Titans, and Jags.
You got the Titans. The Titans are now like the darlings of the division. So that division is pretty competitive.
It's competitive, but it's not impossible. Like the Texans, I don't think the Texans are that far away. Like I still think, like I don't think the Texans are a 6-year rebuild. Like I don't. Like I think the Texans with a couple smart moves this offseason, finally getting stability at the coaching and GM spots, having a guy that could actually be a GM and a coach, not both at the same time. I know, right? Amazing concept.
How many years away? I think it's 3.
In the NFL, man, you can turn around things quick, man. You can turn around things.
They're 2, probably about 2.
I think about with Deshaun Watson. I don't think they're that far away. Like would you be shocked if next year they're like 8-8?
No, not at all. No,
not shocked.
They are a couple players away.
Let me see what their record is right now. What they're like 5-9.
4-9, something like. What is
4-9, and they could have easily won 2 or 3 games that they lost.
They lost that last game. They lost the heartbreaker.
Right. So I don't think they're that far away. Like people make the Texans out to be like this. Like
I'm talking about
rebuild,
but I'm talking about with a QB like Watson and his years, for him to be competitive, to compete for the AFC, because that's what I mean. Shit, last year he was 24 or like 20 plus nonetheless points up on the defending Super Bowl champs going into the half. So
not for nothing, man. He needs to play better too. Like he has not played as well this year as he should have played. Now, I get it. He's in an impossible situation, so it's hard to critique him that much. But the thing with Deshaun that worries me, he has a lot of Russell Wilson in him. Remember, like last week or a couple weeks ago, we talked about that for as great as Russell Wilson is, he still has those games where he just makes a throw that you're just like, why? Like Deshaun has a lot of those moments in him too, where it's like he'll be playing great and then he'll fumble at the wrong time or throw the bad pick. Like he has not played as well as I think that he should have played this year. Because I think if he plays better in some of those games they lose, they could have easily won those games. And I've watched a lot of Texans games this year, and I don't think he's had moments where he's just been tremendous. Like I remember, I think on Thanksgiving he had that 4 touchdown game, threw for 300 yards or whatever. So he's had moments where he's just played out of his mind. But in totality, I don't think he's played as good this year as he's played in the past couple.
Yeah, which makes sense. All right, let's get to these picks. Week 15, 2 weeks away from the end of the regular season. The games are getting more slim as far as like quality games, but I got 3 for y'all. The first one is Kansas City at New Orleans. Who y'all got?
Game.
Kansas City.
Drew Brees will probably be back to this week. I think he went back to practice today.
Nah, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.
They said he's not coming back?
He practiced today.
They practiced, but they said they want him at 100%. That's what the report is.
Oh, that's
so.
We're saving him for the playoffs, pretty much.
Pretty much. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Which is smart. They've got that division tied up.
Yeah, I would do that because you're not really gonna catch Green Bay. I don't think at this point. Once again, like we said, it's not that big of a deal if they have to play on the road a couple of games. But I think this is one where you will. Kansas City is gonna play strong.
Yeah.
I got KC. Although I think Kansas City's due to lose a game too.
Exactly. I was gonna say this is a trap game for me. I think I'm gonna go with New Orleans on this one. Just because
like last week
is that New Orleans too?
Because like last week, New Orleans was due to lose a game. That was the game they lost against Philly. I could see this being the game that.
And even though they already lost to the Raiders earlier on, I feel like Kansas City is like the fact that game against Miami was really close last week. Granted, Miami's on the up and up. Patty threw 3 picks, and I'm like, all right, you could just tell that means he's bored, or like he's just
they're bored. I think it's more
slinging.
bored than anything else. I think they're just like the Warriors in the NBA. Remember when the Warriors were at their peak? Like they just get bored and fuck around and lose a game to the Timberwolves that they shouldn't have lost. Like I think that's the same thing with Kansas City. I do think they're due for a loss, but you know what? I'm gonna switch my pick. I'm gonna go with New Orleans, man. I think
Is that New Orleans?
Yeah, it's at New Orleans.
I think New Orleans bounces back. I think if what's his face plays QB, then I think he'll have a better performance this week.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
I think Jameis should start, but I'm not surprised if they start Taysom.
Nah, man, Jameis is done. Jameis is. Y'all never gonna convince
done.
Me. Man. Jameis.
I mean, we seen QBs that still becomes, that still stand starters. They be bums.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm not saying he's done. Like he'll never get another job in the NFL. He'll be a backup.
Okay.
He'll be a backup for somebody, and he'll get his opportunities to start somewhere or have an opportunity. But
he's not backup. He's a backup QB now. That's what you look at it, man.
I think he is, man. You know what's telling when Taysom Hill's played well. You got to give the Saints credit. They took a lot of bullets for that decision, and outside of last week against Philly, Taysom Hill has played his ass off. Like even the biggest Saints haters have to admit that Taysom Hill has balled out. Last week not included. He was due for a bad game, but he's balled out, man. And Jameis Winston couldn't beat out a guy who people cracked on saying he was a tight end playing quarterback. You can't beat that guy out.
I think it was already in the organization had their evaluation of Taysom. Yeah, with Taysom Hill, like Jameis is like, oh, we got a bonus. It's icing on the cake because if anything happens, we have options.
Right.
But I at the same time, I can't really disagree with you if he can't beat out the white boy and shit.
I don't think it's that. I think they wanted to see what they had in Taysom, and they just gave him that money as well. So
true. That's also a good point.
That was really what they were trying to do. Bringing in Jameis, if you had put Jameis out there and he played well, people would have been claiming Drew Brees was finished. Let's get rid of Drew Brees.
Yeah.
All that kind of talk. So you play Taysom just to see if he can actually play the position because who had any idea if he could play quarterback or not? So you put him out there, rely on your defense and play calling and playmaking, and they did that. They won all these. I think they won every game. Yeah, they did win every game except for the last game. So it's worked out for him to do it that way. And you know exactly what you have in Taysom Hill at this point. So that was what it was about more than anything else. And Jamie's learning something. I don't think he's done.
We'll see. Next game, I got Philly at Arizona. Jalen Hurts versus Kyler Murray.
Arizona. I got Arizona.
They in Arizona?
Yep, at Arizona.
It'll be a close game. It'll be back and forth. What's the spread on that one?
Let me see.
I'm gonna go with Philly.
Because that sounds like a pick'em game.
I'm gonna go with Philly.
I'm thinking about going with Philly too, B.
The momentum.
Arizona
-6. So Arizona
that's actually a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, Arizona -3 is what I would take. I think that's going to be like a 24-21 game.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. What was our records last week, by the way?
I would have to go back and look. I'll do an update before the season's over, probably next episode. But I think, I have to do it. I'm off the top. I'm gonna just say I won, so I ain't gonna say shit else.
Of course.
But I don't know. This is a hard game for me because I do like the momentum Philly has, and that defense is still pretty good. But the weapons that Arizona has, I don't know if they can put points up on the board. And I don't know if Jalen Hurts has, enough moxie to do it, what he did to New Orleans. I'm gonna go with Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Sheldon, who you got?
Arizona.
Arizona B. You got Arizona too?
Philly.
Or you got Philly? All right.
Last
game we got the LA Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Raiders, yeah.
You got
the Raiders could be
going to
missing
you
the
first.
entire starting lineup, and I still would pick the Raiders just because.
No, The Chargers won last week, and I think that they know that they're playing for their coach's job. So I'm going Chargers again. This the one time this year I'm picking the Chargers, not going with my heart. I'm going
the Chargers. The Chargers right now have a top 5 pick in the next year's draft.
All that talent.
All that talent. Now they could end up, getting. I think one of the offensive linemen who's like supposed to be one of the best offensive linemen come out.
Penny Sewell.
Yeah, for the long time. So that could be a boost to them. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think that any given Sunday, like they almost, they were making it really competitive with the Colts until the second half. I'm gonna stick with John Gruden on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So next week we'll add up all the wins and losses and see who's really the lead dog going into the final week. But let's switch over to the NBA. I know this is the most anticipated sports area that we always discuss. And I'm gonna hit y'all with the first question that I seeing. I think it was breaking news this week. But I'm gonna ask this question in a weird way. Which is more surprising to y'all? That Giannis signed the max deal with the Bucks, or that the Clippers offered the max deal to PG?
Clippers offered the max deal to PG. Man. I don't understand that move.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were scratching their heads like, what? Like,
yeah.
After
I
what?
understand it from PG's perspective. I don't understand it from the Clippers.
You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all can give him the bag. So, yeah, I'm more surprised with the PG one.
It's not even close. I mean, I like I said, I don't know if they were watching the last postseason or
right.
I don't
last couple postseasons.
Yeah, right.
True.
I don't know.
2 or 3 postseasons.
I can't get the thought. There's no way I wouldn't have went to that man and said, "Hey, I know you're gonna give me a discount." There's no way I would not have asked for a discount. That's the one time when I think that would apply more than anything else. I know you're gonna hook me up with this one.
Right.
Because you haven't gotten a return on your investment as of yet. So why invest?
It's only 1 year though, right?
Paul George makes $30+ million. Think about that.
That's basketball, right?
I know it's basketball. I'm not saying that's not a good thing. Just because it's basketball doesn't mean it's a good thing.
I'm just saying, like, it's 1 year that with this team.
Jesus Christ.
It's 1 year with this team that he failed to live up to expectations.
Yeah, he failed horribly.
But right. I just don't like the timing of it. It just felt like they rushed it. Like you had no real incentive to try to max him out right now, right? Like so I don't
wait and see what he do this season. Now that you got all that the bubble stuff excuse out the way. All right. And then he was on some podcast talking about, I'm more focused. I'm with my trainer, my trainer from before and all this stuff. I'm a bust.
I've been hearing the same shit about Paul George for the last couple of years.
If I'm the Clippers, I'm like, okay, well, let's see what you do this season and this postseason. And then we could talk about giving you the bag. But like Manny said, I feel like they rushed this one.
Do y'all think it's Kawhi related? Like they're just trying to set everything up to entice Kawhi into re-upping or not opting out?
That has to be the only reason.
Think of, and even then, I don't even think that's that much of incentive for Kawhi Leonard anyway. Because Kawhi, Kawhi is built different. Kawhi gonna do his own thing anyway.
Well, the only thing I can think of is that they didn't want to make that grand investment and not be able to hold on to anything from it. I think that
exactly that's what I was going to.
Yeah, it's like it's like you don't want to lose everything for nothing. So since you're here, I might as well cake you up, and that's kind of what they did. We want to make sure that we hold on to something, and we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe Kawhi is saying, "I want him there." You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure they had a meeting with him and talked to him about it. At least I would think they would.
Yeah.
I mean, he asked for him before this. Like he said, "I'm not coming there without him."
Right.
Without another All-Star. So he's already given that stamp of approval. I think they removed the guys who were talking shit in the locker room and who were causing a disturbance, or they let him walk. But I do agree with you. I think the biggest thing shown is that they invested so much draft capital by trading away, like mortgaging their future for the most part, for this pairing to work and to happen. And for the fact that they were one game away from going to the Western Conference Finals, even though they had 3 times to do that.
That's still a failed season. That's a failed season.
It's a failed season, but we can run it back. And then you got Serge Ibaka now. You got well, they've added a couple pieces
You got
that are
Ty Lue
interesting.
now. You got Ty Lue as a head coach now.
Yeah. So like we'll see what they can do. I think by also signing him to the max, you could probably move him too if you wanted to blow it up, because then that would guarantee a long-term deal with another team. But nonetheless, I think it was something that I'm surprised it happened timing wise, but I'm not surprised it happened in general. Because like Sheldon said, like you gonna blow it up again in 2-3 years? Nah.
And you don't have nothing. Yeah, you don't have nothing because you give away all your draft capital. Blowing it up doesn't really work for you because you can't rebuild.
Yep.
So you really have no choice. It's almost like you're in a relationship. You stuck in that relationship because you invested in it. It's like, dang, I didn't.
Because you got
that contract. If like for instance, if they have another flame out and he's disappointing again, that contract's going to become an albatross because nobody's going to want to trade for that contract.
No,
like nobody's going to want to pay, Paul George $35 million.
Don't say that now, because in New York.
Listen,
we'll put a slice of cheese on a shit sandwich and call it a day.
Listen, we said that about the Knicks. Give the Knicks credit. If you're gonna give the Knicks credit on one thing, they didn't run to acquire Russell Westbrook, and that was a prototypical Knick move.
Yeah,
I wanted him, man. He would have been. He would have got us in the playoffs.
There's always some place to go, and some of those markets, like you take a market, like I talk about Charlotte all the time. You don't have a choice but to make some of these type of signings and take on some of these type of contracts and people, because you're not going to get the free agents without doing it this way. So whenever you get the opportunity, you may have to overpay for some of those guys to come in there and play. But a team like LA, I don't see where they would have had to do that, other than the fact that, like we said, they didn't have a choice.
What do y'all think about Giannis signing with the Bucks?
Love it. Great for the NBA, man. I love it. I love seeing him commit to them long term. I was going to talk on my show this week about how I think player empowerment is hurting the league. And yeah, you got a guy now that is sticking on his team in a small market. He's committing to them. Hopefully they do right by him and build a team around him that can finally win. They're not that far away. Honestly,
I'm rooting for him too, man. I always root for like the small market teams. I think that's dope that Giannis didn't feed into the whole, because you remember during the offseason or even kind of like during this past season that just finished, people were saying, oh, is he gonna go to a big market team? Is he gonna go to Golden State? Is he gonna go to LA? Is he gonna go to Miami? Is he gonna go to these these sexy looking teams, these sexy looking cities and stuff? And I'm glad he stuck to his guns and stayed true, to the squad that drafted him. We've seen his career progress, within these last 5 seasons. He still needs room for improvement. But I'm glad he stuck to his guns and stayed with a small market team. Like Manny said, because you know how we get with these small market teams, they always don't do right. They give them the bag, but sometimes a lot of these front office, they don't do right by their superstar. And because of a small market, sometimes it's hard to entice other superstars, other players to come there and play in that city. So hopefully, I wish him the success. You know what I'm saying? I hope he work on his game some more this offseason. I hope he start getting better half court. I hope his game expands to the half court set, because that's how playoff basketball gets, man. It slows down. That shit slows down. It comes into a box. You got to know how to adjust your game, and he still hasn't be able to adjust his game to playoff yet. I mean, regular season Giannis, oh yeah. I mean, the man is a 2-time MVP back-to-back for a reason and defensive player of the year. But playoffs, he got to adjust his game to the playoffs, man. If he don't, it's going to be the same results.
And it was basically inevitable, I think, that he would resign too, because first off, it's a lot of money. You're gonna take that money. I don't see why you wouldn't. Secondly,
he was gonna get paid regardless. I mean,
yeah. He was gonna get money, but that's a lot of money. He just took it. And also, player coming from, he wasn't one of those instant superstar players that is always looking for the bag. He was built there, if you recall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he has a sense of loyalty to a team, as opposed to like some of these other guys where it's strictly business. Like, look, I can go and be a star anywhere. I think that kind of helped him because it was the perfect type superstar to have. He's kind of humble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and maybe he might be the type of dude that'd be like, look, I don't want to go to these historical franchise that got, all these banners or all these guys or these different
Mm-hmm.
let me create my own. Like the only player you think of when you think of Milwaukee Bucks is Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson. It's Sidney Moncrief and a couple of other players that
Terry Cummings.
Right.
Yeah, and Terry Cummings. But like Giannis can really he can set the mark there in Milwaukee if he can go on and do some great things for that team, for that organization.
Yeah, so, if he wins one title with Milwaukee, that's like Dirk's title in Dallas. Like, you don't need
right.
Yep.
It's perfect.
If he plays like 16 seasons and have amazing stats and do really good, have all these single player accolades, and then like you said, win that one. If he can bring Milwaukee that one ship, oh yeah, he'd have a statue. He'd have a statue in no time. Like, I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. It's good for the league, man. I can't say that even more, man. It's good for the league.
It's good for the league. Yeah. It helps the league. And I like what Jimmy Butler said. Jimmy Butler was like, because they asked him about that. I don't know why they asked Jimmy Butler about it, but they asked him about it.
It was potentially like he was gonna go to Miami if he was a free agent. That's what was a rumor. Jimmy Butler
was like, I think that's great because I want to play against the best. I want to play against and I want to beat the best. So that's like Manny said, man, that's good for the league, man. Like these guys play each other. I'm glad
you don't see that situation with him where his baby mama's cousin's friends with Paul George.
Right.
So they want to team up on the you don't see that with him. Like it's like a situation where he just wants to be.
He's kind of had that attitude. He's kind of had that I don't want to go and team up with
he said some things in the media, and I think that some things have been he's kind of played into it a little bit, so that's why it was a little surprising, because at first he started out like, no, I don't want to go anywhere else, and then recently, like in the media, he's been kind of playing up to the rumors and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's good for the league. You need more stars evenly dispersed around the league, especially in small markets, man, because like I was gonna make the point, like, yo, these small parts, like if you're a team in, like if you're Sacramento, what hope do you have? I mean, you don't have no hope. You got to hope and pray that you get one of these once in a generational talents and you do enough to keep them. And even then, they still might leave. You know what I'm saying? They still might. They might spend the summer working out with some other superstar and decide, okay, we want to play together. You know what I'm saying? If you're Charlotte, what hope do you have? I mean, I know they got LaMelo, and hopefully he sticks. But if you're Charlotte, if you're Sacramento, if you're some of these other small market teams, like, you don't have any hope. You got to hope and pray that you are terrible enough to get a top 5 pick, and a once in a generation talent, and just be lucky enough to build around them and entice them to stay. And even then, that still may not
comes from good front office too. You know what I'm saying? That front office got to make the right moves too. We can't just always look at what players and coaches doing. A lot of these front office GMs and stuff, they some dum-dums. They some stupid moves. You know what I'm saying?
To their credit, I don't think they've done stupid moves. Like, I thought they've tried to make solid.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee. Yeah.
They've done some.
I'm talking about in general. Like some of these front offices in general just be.
I don't understand what their motives are.
Yeah. But they always make the dumbest moves, but we never talk about them. Like, we never, people never.
I do. I'm always shitting on NBA GMs.
I mean, true people true fans of the sports that pay attention. Yeah, they might be like, what is that front office thinking? Most people, once they see the results, they be like, oh, that's a bad team, or that's a bad player, or it didn't mesh, that's a bad coach. It's like, well, you got people in front office making these decisions and doing that. I mean,
I feel like
all the credit when they win championships, but when they making dumb moves, you don't hear people about it.
I feel like of all the sports, I think the NBA GM is the most like, let's just throw something against the wall and see what sticks. Like, I just, out of all the sports, because I just fail to realize, like, some of these GMs, I'm like, did y'all even have a meeting to discuss like this move? Yeah, y'all just made a deal for whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's crazy. But no, to wrap it up, great for the league. I can't say it even more, man. I like that Giannis re-up in Milwaukee.
I like it too. I think that it's between them and the Nets when it comes to the East. But before we get to
Nets?
Hold on. We're gonna get to them. I do have a question since we're talking about players possibly moving to different places or players who have already been traded. I got a question I want to ask y'all. Who has the better playoff team? And I'm considering both of them still playoff teams. The Wizards or the Rockets?
As it currently stands?
As they currently stand.
The Rockets. And the only reason I say that is because the common denominator is still there, which is James Harden. And you add Boogie to that mix.
And John Wall.
Which John Wall, I'm not counting him.
Both injury-prone players you're talking about, right?
They are, and that's what I'm saying.
And we haven't seen John Wall play basketball in about 2 years.
I mean, same way for DeMarcus, really. I mean, he played a little bit, but then he went right back on the injury. He got injured again. He played a little bit and then got injured again. So
yeah, these are the first names y'all mentioned. That's what I'm just going with.
Well, that's because they're addition. Everything else pretty much stayed the same. You know what I'm saying? So what got them there last year is the same thing that'll get them there this year. Is what I'm saying. The main factor is.
Man, who's on the Wizards besides?
I can make the case that the Rockets are infinitely worse, legitimately worse than they were last year by a lot, and the Wizards, which I don't love, are infinitely better. Like that roster. I mean, they got Bertans. I mean, we all know about Beal and
Beal,
Westbrook, but they also have Thomas Bryant, nice young big. You know, they have Bertans. Yeah. They have Denny Advia, the European cat. Isaac Bonga. I mean, they don't have a great team, but I like that team better than the Rockets is currently constituted.
The Rockets only really got DeMar Carroll. They got obviously mentioned Cousins and Wall.
If you're telling me
PJ Tucker.
If you're telling me it's Boogie from 2012, Boogie from 2015, yeah, of course.
But who did they lose is what I'm saying. They didn't really lose anybody.
They lost Robert Covington. They lost
their coach. They lost
the GM.
Lost their GM. They lost their identity. They lost Westbrook. They lost faction. Nah, man. And I think Steven Silas is a well-regarded young coach in the league, so I think he'll do a decent job with the circumstances.
Yeah, they still got Eric Gordon. They got Gerald Green still. They got Daniel House Jr. And they still got Ben McLemore. Oh, he played for them? Yeah, he did.
Exactly. I mean,
hashtag.
They got Christian Wood. Yeah, I hate the Pistons let him go. I don't know, man.
I forgot they got Christian Wood.
That's what I'm saying.
I do like Kenyon Martin Jr. being on his team. But to me, this just screams rebuild. We're talking about a lot of.
If Harden goes, of course.
We're talking about a lot of used to be niggas. They used to be good, or they used to be relevant.
Oh, Wizards got Rui Hachimura. Rui.
Who did?
The Wizards. They got Hachimura still on the squad.
I like the Wizards squad better than the Rockets.
They got a good squad, but what I'm saying is Houston has done it before. We've seen Houston do it with less.
Disappoint.
We're talking about being a playoff team. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you said was a playoff team. You didn't say who.
Well, I know. I'm saying like you said, done something. Like I'm like, what have they done?
They got to Game 7 and lost. That's what they've done.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just. We talking about even if they get swept the first round, we just saying make the playoffs. This team.
Here's the thing about
who has the better playoff team? Who has the better
right now as currently constructed?
Right. Yeah.
The thing I'm thinking about with Houston though, I think they're worse than they were last year, and the Western Conference, you can make the argument is better.
The Western Conference is better, but I don't think they're worse. I think that they're better.
I think they're worse.
And the only reason I say that is because I think that Russell and James Harden kind of canceled each other out a couple times. You know, trying to fit. It's just like when you try to fit OBJ in that offense, you're forcing the ball to him and forcing him to make plays and do things and going against your regular flow of offense. I think with the team as currently constructed, now you finally have a big. Not saying that even if he doesn't play all year, Boogie, he's still better than what you had at center. You see what I'm saying? Regardless, he's an addition. John Wall is steady at best. And I watched him a little bit the other night. They look pretty good. And with James Harden, being himself, he's gonna make the team better in the regular season.
Is James Harden all in? Is he buying in?
He's not buying in.
Is he in another rap video this week? Or is he
that's
just
what I say. Like I told y'all before, I don't think he's gonna last. And we said that, but
we said that. Yeah.
We're speaking, like I said, we're just speaking as if he is gonna last. That's how I'm taking the question.
Me too. Yeah, I am too, Sheldon.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I like the energy that Westbrook is bringing to Washington. I think that energy and that leadership, and of course he's still talented. I mean, look at his numbers. He was like what? He had at least 27, 7, and 7 or some shit like that, even in Houston. And then add that with Bradley Beal, I think that think the Wizards are going to do something that, if I had to make a prediction, I think they've never won over 50 games before throughout their within the last 20 years.
Don't cap now. Don't cap.
I think they can win at least 50 to 53 games this season.
No, because it's
53 games.
53 games. In a 72-game regular season?
Wait, no. It's a short season, Nick.
I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nick drunk.
I'm just saying. I'm going off the strength.
Nick out here drunk.
I'm going off the strength of I think that's what Washington was missing. That
so you said they're going to win 50 plus games
in a 72-game regular season. So their winning percentage is going to be in the 600s.
I said what I said. Y'all can calculate however I want to.
Like, dude, the Toronto Raptors won 53 games last year. Milwaukee won 56. No, Wizards is not going to be that good, dude. Calm down.
The Wizards, look, I don't like either roster pertaining to this question, but I think the Wizards are going to be a better playoff bet or a better playoff team right now is currently constructed than the Rockets, in my opinion.
So you're saying the Wizards going to lose like 15 games?
15 games? Yeah, no way. No way. Because look who's in the East right now. All right. Are the Wizards better than Milwaukee right now? No, right?
I didn't
say they're gonna win 50.
Are they better than Milwaukee?
He's saying the Wizards gonna be the number one.
Are the Wizards better than Milwaukee right now?
They're not better than Milwaukee.
They're not better than the Celtics, right?
You're right, Shelton. You might well say they're gonna be number one.
Yeah, they're gonna be number one seed.
They're not better than the Celtics.
They're not better than the Celtics.
They're not better than the Heat.
They could be better than the Heat.
They're not better than
really, Nick. They could be better than the Heat.
Are they better than Toronto?
They're equal. I would say they're better.
Are they better than the Nets?
Really? You are
they're not better.
tripping.
They're not better than the Nets. They're not better. Than the Nets.
So there's no way for them to do it.
They're gonna win 53 games and be a 6th seed? No way.
I think they're gonna. I mean, we in the West. In the West, there were what 4 or 5 teams that won 50 plus games. And
but that's the West, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Please screenshot this shit. What is it? December.
Chat. Remember this, man. December.
This is my.
December the 16th. 10:45. This fool Nick pretty much saying the Wizards gonna be a 1 or a 2 seed in the East.
I ain't say that.
Based off that record,
I got them being a top 4 seed in the East.
Hey, cut his mic off.
Because they're not gonna be better than Milwaukee. They're not gonna be better than Toronto. They're not gonna be better than Boston. They're not gonna be better than Miami. If Brooklyn Nets they stay healthy, they're not gonna be better than them.
Yeah, they're not gonna be better than the Nets either. I don't think.
You could probably say 76ers too. That's 6 teams right there at this.
I got them better. I got them better than the 76ers.
Oh my God, you tripping, bro?
That's 6.
They might be better than Philly, but that's not saying much.
But that's not saying much. That's still a 5 seed. You're still a 5 seed. A 5 seed East is not a 50 plus.
Shelton, you capping now too. You just said Philly's a top 3 team.
Yeah, Philly's top 3.
Nigga, get out of here.
Philly has.
Hey, cut that mic off, man.
Philly has the top 3 best Philly cheesesteaks, but they not going to be the best.
Cut both their mics. Beezy, you the host. Cut their mics off, man.
Name who are the top 3 seeds in the East?
Right now, today, December 16th.
As constructed.
Milwaukee, Boston, and Miami. Right now,
I disagree with that.
Now will that be the top 3 seeds?
Brooklyn, man. I gotta go.
I'm saying right now we haven't seen Brooklyn play a game together.
Right now, I mean,
Sixers had a down year, but they're better than what they played last year.
I'm just saying right now we haven't seen Brooklyn play a regular season game yet. I'm saying right now.
That's fine. I got Brooklyn, I got Boston, and I got Milwaukee top 3.
Okay, that's fine.
Number four is Washington.
Are they better than Indiana right now? We forgot about Indiana.
Everybody always forgets about Indiana because they're relevant.
Oh, Indiana, they're gonna have whatchamacallit back.
Who? Oladipo?
No,
the one who was asking to go to the Knicks or wherever else.
What's the white boy name? He was injured this past year.
Sabonis.
Yeah.
Oh, Sabonis.
Yeah, they're gonna have him.
Sabonis.
He was an all-star. What are you talking about? He made the all-star this past season.
Sabonis, Miles Turner.
Sabonis is just a bonus. Miles Turner ain't shit. And we saw that in the playoffs.
Right, you tripping now, nigga. You tripping now.
Nick is definitely tripping.
But yeah, Victor do want.
Look, Washington's going to be better. Washington will definitely be better. Are they definitely going to be a playoff team? Absolutely. I think they'll be just outside of that 4th, 5th seed. I think if everything breaks right, I think they could possibly be a 4th or 5th seed.
They're not winning 50+ games.
But they're not winning 50 games.
Not out of 72.
If they win 50 games, I win.
In an 82 game season, they're like a 47-35 team.
Yeah.
I'm saying they at least gonna get 50. I think I'm like, if they get 50, then I'm good.
Nah, man, you reach in.
Come on, Bradley Beal wasn't an all-star.
We gonna take 30. A look.
And you disrespecting Sabonis, man. Dude, nice, man. They was missing him in the playoffs.
I didn't say he was trash. I'm just saying, bro. You mentioned Sabonis, and then you said the Pacers. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Dude,
hey, the Pacers
all-star though.
Solid team.
How many players you can name that were all-star?
Is he an all-star over Bradley Beal?
I think Bradley Beal was an all-star too.
Nah, he wasn't.
No, Bradley Beal didn't make the all-star team because the Wizards were so bad.
There's always little snubs and stuff in the all-star, and
that's what I'm
because
saying.
The Wizards were terrible.
Oh yes, he was an all-star with Bradley Beal.
Oh, he was an all-star?
No, I'm saying, well, let's look at last year anyway. Just so you know, last year the Pacers were 5th in the East, and Washington was
without
11th.
Oladipo for most of the year.
Yeah, without Oladipo and a few other people, so they end up 5th in the East. So they are better.
They're not going to be. I'm talking about moving forward. They're not going to be better. But that's my hot take going in. Next week I'm gonna have more, but that's what I'm starting off with.
Okay.
But since we're on the topic of the
Nikki
Nets,
Duce on that Duce already, I see.
Since we're on the topic of the Nets, are they the clear favorites to come out the East if healthy?
No. I love how everybody. I love how everybody is in love with the Nets. Look, KD looks great so far. He looks like he hasn't missed a beat, which is a good thing. I think it's good for basketball too that KD's back and healthy. Thank God. But I still got to see more from the Nets. First of all, we've never seen them play a real game together. Right. That duo. We've never seen Steve Nash coach a real game. How are they going to fit? Look, everything, and everybody's saying the right things now in December. You know, what's going to happen after their first 3-game losing streak? You know, Kyrie, takes a stupid shot that should have went to fucking KD. You know, everything sounds great now, but what's going to happen when problems arise? And problems will arise eventually.
Because the NBA a long season, man.
Right, it's a long season.
Y'all told me it's 72 games, not 82. It's a little.
It's 10 less.
10 games.
10 less.
That 10 game might be a difference.
It ain't 50 games now. It's 72.
Yeah, it's 72. Right. It's still a lot of games. You're gonna have back-to-backs and everything.
They're gonna have back-to-backs and stuff. Look, I think if they're healthy and everybody plays their roles as they should be, should the Nets, from a talent perspective, should be the favorite? Absolutely. But we all know that's not how basketball works all the time. That's not how it works all the time, right? So. Right now, I don't think you can make the Nets the favorite. Now, we can revisit this conversation in a couple months and see where we're at.
I got them as the favorite coming out the East.
The East already?
Well, I would say this. I would say let me retract that. I have the Nets and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I mean, that's.
I guess. I mean, you could go.
It could happen.
Say that. Yeah.
That's
not crazy. That's not crazy.
I trust KD, and if Kyrie is your Robin, we've seen how dangerous that combination can be.
I don't trust Kyrie. I don't trust him mentally, and I don't trust him physically.
If we're talking talent, you're correct, but teams like Miami got something to say about that.
Yeah,
they're returning. They're returning. Their nucleus, and they got something to say about us picking these two teams. So does a team like Philly, and definitely a team like Boston.
I don't know why y'all acting like it's just KD and Kyrie. Do you know the Nets haven't given up anybody in all these
Paris LeVert? They got. The Nets. Look, talent-wise, the Nets should be straight. The Nets should be straight, but this is not about talent. This is about cohesion, fit, chemistry, coaching, etc. Right?
Yeah, all that plays a factor.
All that plays a factor in it. And look, honestly, I'm still until I see it. I'm still skeptical on this team. I still don't know how Kyrie and KD fit from a basketball perspective. They're two ball-dominant guys that need the ball. I know everybody's making the comparison to Steph and KD. Steph is a different type of point guard than Kyrie is.
Steph play off the ball way more than Kyrie.
Way better and Steph is just naturally unselfish and just he has all his follicles in his brain. So Kyrie, one day he hates the media, the next day he loves the media. One day Kyrie wants to be on a boat naked with white girls, then the next day he's listening to Farrakhan. I mean, Kyrie is just all
isn't that a typical young black man, right? We go back and forth like that.
It's
We want to be with some white bitches and everything. We trying to get some pro-black.
Touche. But
ways to give him excuses.
I just don't trust Kyrie, man. I don't trust, and I love Kyrie. That's my dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Part of the brotherhood.
I fuck with Kyrie, and he did make the shot, so I can't say I haven't seen him in this.
Kyrie got the coldest handles in the league. I mean,
if Kyrie is emotionally, if Kyrie mentally and physically, and you got to throw in physically because Kyrie, you just can't count on him from an injury perspective. Even the years he's had great years, he still misses 20-something games. It seems like if Kyrie is there physically and mentally, and he buys in. Then we all know the talent of Kyrie Irving. This isn't an issue of talent. We know Kyrie when he's healthy and mentally healthy. He's one of the best 10, 15 players in the league, easily.
Man, I hope KD come back tearing this shit up, man. I want to see the Slim Reaper come. I want to see the Slim Reaper this season, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good for basketball. I want to see him
go back to old school. I want to see the Durantula. I want to see if he could come back. He's been out for almost 2 years.
Yeah, man.
I want to see what he could do.
Yeah,
it'll just be good for basketball.
I know. I'm with Shelton. I just want to. I want Slim Reaper back. I want these guys to hopefully stay healthy, and so that way we won't even have no excuses or nothing. It's like, okay, let's see what these boys can do. That's what I want. It already sucks that Klay Thompson is out. He's out with his injury because we was looking forward to seeing Golden State at like full blast, but injuries happen. Feel sorry for Gordon Hayward. He got injured out. They don't know
already. He's already stealing money.
Yeah, they don't say if he's out, but he's out though.
He got he's a legend at the bank.
He's
okay.
Here's the thing, like even though all the question marks we may have with the Nets from a player perspective, I still think it comes down to coaching. Like, is Steve Nash the guy? Like, again, he's a legend. He's a Hall of Fame point guard, but we've never seen him coach a game of basketball in his life.
We said the same thing about Steve Kerr, right? When he first started.
You're right. But until we actually saw him coach, right, there was still a question mark. Like, damn, can Steve Kerr actually be the guy? He shut us up really quickly when they started like 20-2, But we haven't seen it, right? So with Steve Nash, is still a question mark. Like, I don't know what Steve Nash is. Can you tell me right now that you think Steve Nash is going to be a great NBA head coach? I don't think you know that right now.
Nah. No one can answer that. But we'll see. I mean, the season starts next week.
The Nets are the Nets are the prototypical we'll see team. They are we'll see. Everything with the Nets right now until January 30th is we'll see. We'll see with the Nets. They have the opportunity to be really good, but we'll see.
Yeah. Y'all mentioned Gordon Hayward and Charlotte. Let's focus on them. Well, let's focus on the rookie first. Does Melo Ball look good to y'all? So far in these preseason,
he made some. He definitely made. I was really impressed with some of the dope passes he was making. He was definitely showing, and I mean, he showed signs of that when he was playing in the Australia leagues and stuff like that pass. But like to see him do it at the NBA fast pace level. Man, some of them passes he was making, I was like, damn. Like, yeah, it was dope to see that in one game. But, NBA is a long season. I want to see how he's going to handle the physical beatdown, the mentally beatdown of an NBA season, playing with top-notch talent. You're not playing Australian guys no more. You're playing some of the world best ballers now. So, I mean, I want to see that. So, but it was cool seeing that preseason game. I forgot who they played, but it was that one preseason game where he was just dropping dimes. Like,
Toronto. I feel like Toronto.
Both.
I feel like he went out that game was like, look, I'm about to just pass. Like, all I'm doing is getting assists this game, and he did it. So I feel like if he wants to like score, I think he can probably turn that on too. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm looking forward to seeing how he's gonna handle his rookie year.
I haven't seen a lot of them. Honestly, I haven't watched a lot of the preseason stuff, so I can't really make a determination. I mean, look. I'm hoping I'm rooting for the kid. Charlotte needs something, as we know. So hopefully he's the real deal, or he's close to the real deal. So, but I haven't seen. I saw like a little bit of highlights and stuff like that, but I haven't seen him really play.
You ready for the regular season? You cool on this preseason shit.
Honestly, all the sports like preseason basketball just doesn't do it because the guys are only going half speed. So it's not really like. To me, I don't think you could really make a fair assumption of what you're seeing in preseason basketball. Plus, this year, especially when you only got like 4 or 5 games all condensed. I don't know. I mean, I don't really pay attention to preseason basketball.
This.
I mean, I'll poke my head in. I'll watch something, but
this offseason more than any other is a little different because we didn't have the summer league. We didn't have any of the things that we normally have. So it's going straight from the draft. What's going straight from the finals to the draft to the season. So it's
which is weird.
Yeah, it's really a weird thing. But
I miss summer league too. I miss summer league. To me, I focus more on summer league than I do even NBA preseason. Like I watch all the summer league games
because that's when you build your kind of like get yourself together. Like it gets you ready for the season. Even not playing all the games, those couple games they help you out a little bit to get you right. Some of the players that's in the league now were built in summer league. We're gonna miss out on a couple of those guys. But anyway, back to Melo. He proved why he's the true Melo now.
He is not the true Melo. I don't give a damn what. I almost cut your mic off saying that it's blasphemous.
The jury's still out on his shooting, which we knew that he's exactly what I thought he would be.
Yeah,
he's definitely he got like 10 rebounds the first game, got about 6 assists and no points. He can't turn it on scoring wise like that. He hit a couple nice shots this last game, but that's something that's going to be a work in progress. He is coming off the bench right now. They're starting Devontae, which I figured they would. Scary Terry and Devontae Graham are starting in the back. And they're bringing him along slowly, which they should do. What I'm saying? And I think that I'm glad he's there because they did need a star presence. Gordon Hayward just got a fractured finger. I think it's more precautionary that he's sitting out than anything else. But I like what I see so far. I see some energy from that team, and I like the athleticism. Them boys can jump out of the gym. They got some players that can actually play ball. We just got to see if they can grow and develop this year. But he's in the right place because there's really no pressure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's no pressure to win right away and nothing like that.
Right, but I tell you what, he looks a lot more comfortable, I would say, than Lonzo did early in his career. At this point,
man, his court vision is
it's tremendous. And
his court vision is good, man. Because like I said, he was making passes where I was like, oh, I didn't think he saw him. Like it was, yeah. I love point guards make those type of passes where I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't think he saw him.
Right, his outlet passes were on point. Yep. He did some nice things. He proved he belonged. Now, like I said, the shot is his shot is a work in progress. It's going to be a couple of years before he can shoot the ball. But as far as his passing, his floor vision, in playing the game, I think
he needs to bulk up in those 2 years too.
Yes, he does.
Because like right now, I think Steph Curry weighs more than him.
But do we though? Players like KG and Kevin Durant stayed skinny their whole career. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe.
Yeah, but
bulking up is always a weird. It is. Guys look skinny, but
no. But I'm just saying, like Lonzo,
their body compositions is weird.
Lonzo bulked up. I'm not saying he needs to put on 50 pounds. I'm just saying he needs to put on maybe 10 to 20. And just for the fact of like if he can't shoot right now, the only way he's gonna get his points is by going to the foul line and making layups and whatnot and contested shots in the paint. So he's long and lengthy, so he should be able to maneuver through that. And he has good handles. But if he wants to be able to take that,
he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's 19. That part will come. I'm not worried about that part. That part. I mean, even the sorriest NBA players, by definition, just bulk up eventually because they come into their body. I mean, a lot of these cats come into the league. They're 18, 19 years old. So, they come into their bodies at 23, 24. So that'll happen. I'm not worried about that. His shooting does need work. You could say that about Lonzo too. I mean, still needs work. But yeah, man. I mean, look, like I said, I'm rooting for the kid. I hope he makes it. I hope he's the guy. I'm a Lonzo fan, so I'm rooting for his little brother. Especially Charlotte. Charlotte needs something. They need something. So, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. That's all I really have for the hot topics of NBA. Let me see what else we could.
Let's do a rapid fire, man, because I know the season about to start next week.
You want to talk about? Y'all see that top 10 list that ESPN show?
Man, don't even pay. Don't even get that.
What was the top 10?
I thought I posted in the group me chat some days ago when they posted it. Ah, shit, I'm gonna have
the best players in the NBA right now, or whatever.
Yeah, like the top 10. Yeah, it was like
rankings
LeBron.
they do.
Like
every
I know
year.
Luka was number 4. LeBron was 1.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I know Luka was 4.
Y'all giving that shit way too much airtime.
Yeah.
The top 10 was not egregious from what I remember, but it was some other rankings like 20, 30s, 40s. You just be like, you're scratching your head like, wait, what?
Let me see. So they got Joker at 10. They got James Harden at 9, Steph at 8, Lillard at 7, Durant at 6, Kawhi 5, Luka is 4, Giannis is 3, AD is 2, and LeBron is 1. They got Luka way too high on this list, in my opinion.
I mean, I didn't mind the top 10. I mean, I could play around with the order, but
yeah,
I didn't mind the top 10.
Luka should be like 10 or 9, not 4. But I guess with the season that he had, he did put himself on the map. But yeah, I don't know. The players themselves, I wouldn't. Yeah, you can't really disagree with it. Maybe take off one player, but for the most part, that is the top 10.
Some combination of it, yeah. I agree. Rapid fire, man. Let's just go through the rapid fire. Like, so who's y'all MVP pick for this season coming up?
MVP. Ooh, that's a good question.
Rapid fire though. Gotta give me a name.
Rapid fire. Give me KD.
Give me Luka.
Beasley ain't around. He taking the shit. He pulling a Lamar. For me, I'm gonna go with
Don't say Paul George.
I'll go outside the box because everybody's gonna either pick some sort of Giannis or LeBron or AD. I'm gonna go with Steph Curry. Why not?
You would go with the light skin brethren. All right, what's the next one?
Yes, sir. Defensive player of the year.
That's a good question.
That's a hard one to pick rapid fire.
Yeah, I gotta think about who played defense now.
I'm gonna go with AD. He should have won it last year.
I was gonna go AD.
I mean, yeah, we could both go AD. I think
Who
AD
won it last year?
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
like I was thinking of AD as like I think
okay.
AD was in talks of it last year.
Yeah, he should have. I thought he should have won it last year. Giannis won it.
Giannis won it.
I thought he should have won it last year, but I thought he got robbed on that one. The MVP one I didn't mind because whatever. But I thought defensive player of the year. I thought AD was the best defensive player last year. So I thought he got robbed, but I'm gonna go with AD since he got robbed last year.
Yeah, AD. Yeah, I'm gonna go with AD as well.
Yeah.
Who y'all got for most improved player?
Lonzo Ball. That's my pick.
Oh wow.
You would go Lonzo. Most improved. I'm gonna go John Wall.
Does the NBA have a comeback player of the year?
Yeah, he's come back.
I don't think they have comeback player.
I think they should.
Their most improved player is their comeback player of the year.
No, I look at most improved like a guy that takes that next step in their NBA career. I always look at most improved like a young players award, like kind of like a second rookie of the year award where it takes that next step.
I'll take John Wall off. I'm gonna go with out of OKC Shea Gill.
Oh, Gillislee Alexander.
Yeah,
that's a good pick.
SGA.
That's a very good pick.
That's a good pick. I like that pick actually. I like that pick actually. I like Lonzo because I think that now that a year removed from the trade, more comfortable in New Orleans. Drew Holiday out of there. More responsibility for him to be the point guard full time. I like that pick. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna say it before FIFA get on here. Michael Porter Jr. will be the most improved player.
That's a good pick. That's
too.
a good pick.
But I like the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander pick though.
I like that too. Yeah, yeah. With CP gone out of there, he already like to shoot, so he gonna get even more shots. But I still think Michael Porter Jr. though overall he's gonna get more. He's gonna eat up some of that time that was given to FIFA. What's up?
What's good? What's good?
What it do?
Back from his trip.
You play your playoff game yet?
Nah, not yet. I'm about to when we get off of this.
I think I play you next week if you win.
I don't know if I'm the low. Yeah, I think I am the lowest seed of the users.
Yeah.
Hey, FIFA.
Yo.
Oh, go ahead. Who is your MVP of this season coming up? Who you think is gonna win MVP?
I think it's probably gonna be between LeBron and KD.
Who is your what was the next one?
Defensive player of the year.
Player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. I think I'm gonna go Kawhi. I'm gonna go safe. I'm gonna go Kawhi.
Most improved player.
Most improved. Let me think. I think it'd probably be. I'm not being a homer with this one, but I think it's probably going to be Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich, that's a.
Nick said
pick.
Shea Gilgeous, which is a good one, and I said Michael Porter Jr.
That's a good one too. I came in right when you said, something about FIFA, and then I heard Michael Porter Jr. I didn't know what the context was.
That was it.
MPJ, that's a good pick. Shea Gilgeous is also a good pick. The reason why I'm picking Bogdanovich, I watched that first Hawks game, and these boys is literally, Gizmo, you all right? These boys is literally, man, Golden State East. They want to get up and down. They're shooting long threes. They're shooting a lot of threes. And the way that they featured Bogdan, he's kind of like 1B to Trae Young's 1A right now in terms of the pecking order of who's getting the shots. And we know that this guy is a flamethrower. And I don't think that he got the same opportunities he did in Sacramento that he's gonna get with the Hawks. The Hawks spent money on him. So yeah. They want to make sure that he's gonna get those opportunities.
Yeah.
What's next?
Underrated team that nobody's talking about. That's gonna surprise some folks.
Y'all know my pick. I say the Wizards.
I'm gonna go to Rockets. I'm gonna go to Rockets because wow. I watched that first game without James Harden and John Wall and Boogie look pretty damn good. Now I don't know if they. Look, we know their injury history, and these guys are just now getting back onto the court. So I'm not saying that they're going to be, I don't know if they're going to be healthy all year. But I know that if they're healthy for more than 55 games together, they looked good. They look good. So I think everybody's writing the Rockets off. Obviously, there's drama over there. But I think that I don't it's interesting on how it's gonna look between John Wall and James Harden, how they coexist with the ball. But those other two, John Wall and Boogie, look good. And if they can figure it out, I think that they can scare some people in the West. I think you're muted.
Yeah, man.
I forgot Nick got the Wizards winning 75 games apparently.
I ain't got to win. I got to win them 50. I think they can win 50 games this season.
That's what he said, people.
No, but you know what? Here's the thing. So, Denny Advija, I can't say the man's last name.
Advia, I believe. Advia is how you pronounce it.
I always butcher it. However, I remember in the draft, I was talking very highly about him. And he's the perfect complement to a Bradley Beal and a Russell Westbrook, a guy that can handle the rock, create his own, create for other people, kind of a point forward, can play 2 through 4. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to give him a lot of versatility because I'm still not sold on Ruri Hachimura. I watch him play and I'm just like, you just a body out there. Like there's nothing that jumps out. But in one game and a few highlights that I saw from Denny, I'm like, yo, this is kind of what they need. You know what I'm saying? So I like what the Wizards got going on because they literally got a healthier, more focused version of John Wall right now. And we know what Bradley Beal is. I think that we're gonna have to figure out how they coexist. But outside of that, man, they got a lot of talent over there in Washington. So I'm not too far off of where Nick is right now. I'm not because you talking about if they win 50, it was a 72 game season. So you talking about 50 and 22? It's very possible, but it really depends on chemistry.
No, it's not probable. I disagree. I don't think it's possible at all. I think that the most improved team will be the Phoenix Suns. I think you're going to see them continue to go on that run that they were on at the end of the year, and then you add Chris Paul to that mix to kind of
wait, hold on. So the question was most improved team or the team that's going under the radar?
Surprise team or under the radar surprise team that nobody's talking about that is going to be better than people think.
Because most improved, I agree with you, Shelton. It is Phoenix.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
I still think they're under the radar too.
But every year you have those teams that kind of come out of nowhere that like Miami. Like last year, nobody really thought Miami. They thought it would be a playoff team, but nobody thought Miami.
That's what I was about to say. Memphis. Yeah. Memphis, because nobody's still talking about them like that. Everybody knows that Ja Morant is that guy. You know, nobody's going to question that. Jaren Jackson is still on the up and up. But is anybody really scared? And then let's be honest. Look at the Pelicans. Look at Zion. Look, Zion is going to be a big boy. He's never going to look like Carmelo does right now, or even what LeBron looks like right now. He's going to be a pudgier type of guy. That's just his build. But you see that he put in the work on his body. The man played, what was it, like 24, 25 minutes, had like 28 points. You know what I'm saying? And you see the way he scores. You don't how to call plays for him. So I think the Pelicans are definitely a playoff team. And I think that as long as, because Stan Van Gundy could wear on people, but I think this team is so young that it's going to be a good thing for them. So I think that if they actually take it and really run with it and be like, yo, he's really trying to get us better instead of just always nagging, they're gonna whoop up on some people that they shouldn't be whooping up on.
Right.
Yeah, I got a dip, but yeah, y'all can keep going. My other prediction, as far as like we're going down the list, I think the next one is Sixth Man of the Year. I'm going with if I had to choose, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go with the rookie. I'm gonna see. And obviously I'm a homer with this one. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think he's coming off the bench. I think he's gonna do some things. The Knicks first round pick this year.
Sixth Man of the Year, huh?
I'm gonna go with the rookie. As a rookie.
That's a hell of a rookie season, then.
He's gonna be rookie of the year and sixth man.
He can't. I think he's gonna average at least like 16. I'll say this.
16.
Like 16, 7, and 3.
Damn, you think you gonna average that?
Damn.
Nah, bro. Hey, he's on ESPN highlights right now. I was watching him dunk. But if he's doing that, then he needs to be starting for the Knicks, because who else on the Knicks gonna be better than
exactly
that?
Well, I mean,
that's exactly what I was about to say, Shelton. Look, they paid Julius Randle a lot of money, bro.
I know that's
he's gonna get minutes, those are Julius type numbers. There's not many teams that have.
Julius gets Julius averages like over 20 points, 20 and 10.
Like I said, those are Julius Randle type numbers, right? We're talking 2 points and 3 rebounds. Like that's not that far off of what you just said. Right. So at the end of the day, if that person is getting that many minutes and producing at that level in the front court, where does Obi fit? How does he get 18? Tell me one team that has 2.
I said 16, not 18.
Even still, bro. Like even still, the last time I saw 2 front court players dominate like that was AD and Boogie. And the time before that was David Robinson and Tim Duncan, bro. It does not happen that often. The Knicks have to make some moves. They're just gonna have to make moves, just like I think Charlotte does too. But they're gonna have to make moves to clear out minutes for Obi because he's literally he's a different version of Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
I can see Spencer Dinwiddie possibly getting 6 man of the year.
I can see that.
Yeah,
you know that I can see that being 6 man. I can see him getting 6 man of the year because he'll put up some big minutes. You know, relieving Kyrie.
Will LeVert start?
Yeah, at the 2. I can see him start at the 2. I can see him starting at the 2.
I think they're starting Joe Harris.
Oh yeah, that's right. Duh, I forgot.
They need that space.
They need that space. You're right. You're right.
He's gonna eat up some of them points too off the bench because he's gonna get his.
Yeah. I forgot. They need that space, so I think Harris is gonna start at the two spot.
Hey, but that boy KD, I don't know if y'all talked about it.
Man,
we did.
Man,
he looking nice.
I was saying earlier, people. I said I hope we get Slim Reaper back. I hope.
Oh, he back. He back. Hey, you know.
Wait, no, I know he's back. I hope he stay healthy. That's what I'm hoping.
I feel you. 100. I had texted B and I was like, hey, look, man, this nigga got old man game. And when I say that, what I mean by that, like, did y'all see like when he drove left, stopped, pivoted, and hit the one-legged jumper? You can do that at 42, dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and then just think about this. Like, he doesn't do it enough because he could still attack off the dribble. But when he gets the ball in that high mid post and he puts his back to you, he could one-legged shot. He could just turn around and shoot over people. He's 7 foot.
Yeah. I can see him easily transitioning into that Dirk Nowitzki game.
Oh yeah.
I call him the Black Dirk. Yep. He's gonna be the Black Dirk when he get. Because how old is he now? He like 31, 32.
He's just hitting 30. He probably just hitting.
Yeah, he's early 30.
Like 31.
So once he start getting to where LeBron is now, 35, 36, 37, I think again, just being injury free or minor injuries, ankle tweaks and shit like that, normal basketball stuff. If he can stay healthy, the only player that's gonna play longer than him is LeBron. Like because KD got old man game, bro. Like
he 32, FIFO.
He 32. He could play till 40 if he wants to, if he stays healthy.
Yeah,
he can. And you know what? At 37, 38, he gonna get you 20. He gonna average 20. It's shoot like 50% from the field.
Yeah, man. So I think Nets, if they all stay healthy, Nets is gonna be a fun team to watch. They're gonna be a fun team.
You know what? Wait, hold on. I want to stay on the Nets real quick. So the operative word is fun. And I'm not gonna front. I think my favorite player to watch is Kyrie, man. Like that, where he makes dudes look silly.
With them handles. He got the best handles ever. He got the best
ever. And it's not close, man. I love Tim Hardaway. I love AI, but dog, ain't nobody got
the best handles, Kyrie, bro. He got the best handles.
Probably,
and then I know I'm jumping because I'm late, but Steph Curry. Hey,
I haven't catch a word. Steph, people, did I tell y'all? I said, man, I think Steph is gonna come back.
I think
you know what? He might be the MVP.
Burying the war. I just he's my MVP pick. I just picked him just now before he joined.
Steph is coming back to prove because he been hearing the chitter chatter. He know a lot of people been forgetting about him,
right?
Because he's been injured, and everybody been talking about Dame, Dame, and everybody, all these other point guards, John Morant. Like, I think Steph is gonna come back and he's gonna make a statement.
I agree.
He gonna remind motherfuckers, man.
And that Warriors team, I'm telling y'all, people are
super nice.
They're burying the Warriors. Like, I still think.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It sucks that Clay is gonna be out this year, but the Golden State is still gonna be a team that you don't want to. They're gonna still be a good team, man. Like
100. So look, here's the thing. So in that one game that I watched the Warriors play, there's a couple of things that I took away from that game. Number one, I was 100% with you when you said it, and I agreed with it. Steph has heard all of this stuff, and he's going to come out with a vengeance all season as long as he stays healthy.
Yes.
Number two, as great as Dame is, and a lot of these other point guards that got range and stuff like that, when Steph plays, it's different. There's a different energy about how he plays, and it's one of those things that the only way you could describe it is it. Dame has it as well, but it ain't as big as Steph's it. Like there's KD, LeBron, and then there's Steph. Like Steph is up there. And then the other thing I took away from it, watching them play, is that this is how you know when you're great, is when your teammates always look for you. There were a couple of instances where Wiggins could have forced the issue and drove, and he pulled up like, hey, where this little nigga at? All right, bet, boom. Everybody is looking for Steph. So that's going to be a problem, man, because that unselfish culture has translated to this new team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Kelly Oubre, who was it, Nick? Mr. Disrespecting Kelly Oubre? Or who
Probably
was it?
so.
I know somebody on
Probably
Dennis
so.
talking shit.
Probably so.
But Kelly Oubre fits them guys so perfect. You talking about 6'8" wing that prefers to attack, can shoot, a better improved shooter. Obviously not Clay, not a whole bunch of shooters. He's not even Iguodala in terms of experience, but what he brings is that youthful energy, a willingness to defend, and a willingness to play team basketball. Yeah. And when you got guys like that, look at all of the other guys that are around Steph. They're all team guys. Yeah. And when you have a team like that, and then they're obviously well coached, because think about it, everybody is in the same situation. They have this is not a real training camp. They had 71 days from when the season ended. And right now, they go out there and everybody on the same page. How many teams look discombobulated? This is a brand new squad and they're on the same page. Everybody look for Steph. Everybody moving. Everybody setting picks. Everybody knows how and when to be where they need to be. Come on, man. Like go to State. I'm not saying that they're going to be the best team in the West, but 1,000,000% they are making the playoffs, and they're gonna scare some people, because you can't just double team. You can't take Steph out the game. You're not going to be able to do it.
I still got them as a top 4 seed. Like I still think, outside of me, obviously we know about the Lakers, we know about the Clippers. I mean, honestly, it's between them and Denver and Dallas as far as who makes those top. And my money's still on Golden State. They're well coached. They still got that infrastructure in place. Wiseman was a perfect pickup for them. I think he's young, he's big, he's a pick and roll player. I mean, he just helps everything. I mean, he's the missing piece for them. I mean, we've always talked about Golden State needing a big man. They got one. Yeah. Andrew Wiggins is another underrated pickup that they made last year. Andrew Wiggins is Harrison Barnes, but better.
Yep. He's in between Harrison Barnes and KD.
Yeah, he's a better version of Harrison Barnes, essentially. I meast it's a perfect place for him. He doesn't. The pressure's not on him. He doesn't have to be a superstar. He could just
play ball.
He could be a third or fourth option, which is the best suited for his game. I still think Golden State's going to be legit. I think
100%
on their grave is way premature.
Right. Yeah. So rookie of the year. I think Wiseman is going to have the wins. I think Wiseman we're going to see more of Wiseman, just because Golden State is going to be on a whole bunch of nationally televised games and stuff like that. But I think the most talented rookie is LaMelo. Oh, hey, look, man. Hey, look, y'all know how I be talking about my point guard shit. And y'all know passing, that's my forte. When that man threw that behind the back pass, people
did you see it?
At full speed. Hey, FIFO, at full speed. Like, it wasn't no stop, slow down, and then around the back.
No.
This man was going full speed up the court and dropped it right in the pocket. Like,
bro, he let him.
That's pretty tough to do. Like,
that's like a Patrick Mahomes pass.
Yeah, that's
it
tough.
is.
For people who don't play basketball, man, like, to go up full court, full speed, fast break, and you drop around the back right on
in front of you. Like, look. A behind the back pass is a lot easier when you're passing to somebody behind you.
Yep.
I do it all the time. I know. But when you go on that fast break, running the way he was running, looking to the right, and you lead, he let him. To me, when I saw that, bro, I got so many goosebumps, because when I was like, yo, how'd you lead him? Like bro, I'm not saying he is this today. I think he has the talent to, but he's going to be a top 2, top 3 passer in the NBA soon. Yeah. He's and remember, I said this a year ago, if not 2 years ago, he's a better passer than Lonzo. Yeah. He's the best ball brother. And when he figures out how to score, think about that first game. He ain't scored nothing. He ain't tried. And that's the thing I love about him. He didn't force it. He just played his game. casually got 10 rebounds and 5 assists.
Yeah, that's what I said. 10 and 5.
Yo, that's a problem because the reason why it's such a problem is because he's literally a score first guy anyway. Right. So once he figures it out, how I can get my shots, where I can get it, when I can force it, when I need to chill, LaMelo's gonna be a problem in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm glad he's in Charlotte. I really, really am.
I know you are. You the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, and I said the same thing with the young talent. He can grow with those guys, Bridges and PJ. He got the pieces around him, athletic guys. Those guys can jump out the gym,
run a gun. Yep.
Yeah, so these guys, he can grow with them. They can get up down the court and get them passes and score with them. So he the truth, man. He is the truth, and I'm glad he's there. As far as rookie of the year, I don't know. It depends on if Charlotte gets rid of one of those guys. The only reason I say that is because of the minute distribution, how much time he's actually going to get on the court. Unless they're running the 3-guard set, they're going to eat into his minutes, and that'll keep him from getting it. Other than that, he is the most talented in the draft.
100.
Maybe my man from New York. If you going off of stats, I think he has the opportunity to play some minutes to get that. What's the Obi Toppin?
Obi Toppin. That's what Nick was talking about.
Yeah, he could possibly get rookie of the year if you're going by stats. I do agree with you though, people. I think Wiseman's gonna have the wins, but I just don't know will he have the numbers to solidify the rookie of the year spot. Because usually the rookie of the year, they usually look at you. They kind of usually go by numbers. They don't really go by like, if you're winning and all that stuff.
Of course. They typically don't, but the reason why I brought it up is because I think that what Wiseman is going to bring to the table is going to contribute to why they're winning.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So the value of him is going to be risen. I don't know if he's going to get the scoring numbers, but when we're going to look at the defensive numbers, when we look at the rebounds, the steals, the blocks, and then the impact that he's going to have, I think it's going to be tough. I think the guy that can put up the numbers to just flat out be like, okay, he is rookie of the year because of the minutes and the position that he's in is going to be Anthony Edwards. I think he's the guy that they're going to look at and be like, hey, go get buckets. Like, we need you to get buckets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think he is the one that's most poised to put up the numbers to win it. But again, I picked Wiseman because I think that what he's going to bring to the table is just going to be more impactful to winning. And then we're going to see him more. We're not going to see Minnesota. Minnesota ain't going to get no televised games like that. Charlotte ain't going to get televised games like that. And go ahead.
I was about to ask you a question real quick. I was going to say, how many wins do you think the Washington Wizards is going to get?
I think 40 to 47. I think that's kind of where they can be.
So
I think they're a good team.
So you damn near on the same page.
Almost. Wow. I don't think. Look,
Nick saying 50 to 53.
No, hell no. They not that good. They not, and then they need a little bit of seasoning. You know what I'm saying? They need some gel and cohesion because Russell Westbrook is an agitator, and you got to learn how to accept that and play with that. As great as he is, you know what I'm saying? I think what makes the transition a little bit easier is Scott Brooks. He's been played with him. Obviously, he's already had this team minus Westbrook already.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did. Scott Brooks do coach there now.
Yep.
So remember in the 72 game season, 50 wins is the equivalent of 60.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're that good.
Hey, FIFO, I ain't know Crowder played for the Suns now.
Yeah.
Yo,
so
man.
I was watching an interview and CP was talking about how, when he was in Houston, how he recruited and then whoever he was trying to recruit bounced. So he was like, I ain't doing that shit no more. But he was like this offseason when Jay was, kind of available. He was like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? He was like, Jay Crowder just a stand-up dude. So, he made that call and, he's happy that he's on the squad. So, no, man, Phoenix is legit a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? 100% legit. Yeah,
just with CP alone, they're a playoff team.
100. You know what rookie surprised me though?
What?
Who's Greg Anthony's kid?
Cole Anthony.
That game against Miami, I was like, damn, okay, you got some big cojones. You don't care you're a rookie.
Yep.
So
I told y'all he was gonna be nice.
And you know what? I think so for the longest time, I've been saying that they're wasting Vucevic, right? I see kind of what they want to do now. They obviously got Markelle, they got Cole Anthony, and they got another guard too. I can't think of his name right now. And they're surrounding him with a lot of perimeter talent. So I'm not saying that Orlando is the sneaky team or this, that, and the third, but I think they're probably going to be one of the most improved teams in the NBA.
Yeah, man, it's really, man, this NBA season is gonna be really interesting with all this going on in the short off season. Because like Shelton said earlier, FIFO, like this is a weird off season because we don't got summer league. We went from literally the NBA finals to the NBA draft a month later a month later, free agency a little bit, and then here we are, preseason. Season starting this upcoming Tuesday. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
I wonder how that long layoff is going to affect teams. Some of these teams that haven't played since
March. Yes.
I wonder how that's going to be. If guys are going to be fresher or rustier, the quality of the play. I'm interested to see how that's going to be. Yeah. But no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Hey, back to 6 man of the year. I meant to tell y'all, Lou is either going to be Lou Will or Dennis Schrader. I forgot to say that.
I can see that.
One of the two.
Going back to the conversation of what the season.
You sound a little muffled, people.
Huh? Oh, my bad. Am I better now?
Yes.
Yeah, I have my finger on the bottom of my phone. My bad. But I think that in terms of the quality of play, these guys are all professionals. And I think any layoff, you're going to see a little bit of rust, no matter how long or how short it is. But when you're a professional and this is what you do, it's not going to take them long, man. It's not going to take them long. I think the thing I'm more interested in seeing is the teams that did play in the bubble and went far, are they going to be more susceptible to injuries because of that short offseason? Yeah. The other teams, I'm not worried about them. Like, they'll be a little rusty, but in 15 games, they'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah, by the time we get to mid-January, late January, we'd be like, they good.
Yeah. But them teams that just played,
Lakers,
if you don't have depth like Denver, the Lakers, the Clippers, if you don't have depth, the Celtics, Miami, if you don't have depth, I think that's going to hurt you. But I think that, a lot of those teams that I just named, they have a lot of depth. And I think it's really going to be on the coach to, early in the season to give some of those guys deeper on your bench a little bit more time than what you would in a normal season, just to get your guys a little bit of rest, as much rest as you can get them in the game. You know what I'm saying?
I just wonder how the NBA is going to deal with COVID. If COVID's going to impact the NBA, it's bound to, right? It's just COVID's fucking undefeated, so this shit is going to affect them. And somehow I just wonder how, because they got lucky with the bubble. So, we'll see now that everybody's in their home environments, if and traveling back and forth and all that. I wonder if how COVID's going to impact the league in some way, shape, or form. And it's a smaller rosters too, so and compared to like the NFL, even baseball. So I want to see how the NBA handles that.
Yeah, because if you get one guy, unless it's your starting quarterback like Mahomes or somebody like that, it's not really going to hurt your team like that. You can still win without one of your major guys if not named the quarterback. But in the NBA, you miss AD for 2 weeks. You might go 500. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah. I wonder, baseball is already talking about they might delay the season because they want the players to get the COVID shot. I wonder if the COVID shot coming out now or the vaccine coming out now, I wonder if the NBA might, I don't know. Everything's on the table right now, man.
I ain't taking that shit, bro.
They're going to have a hard time convincing a lot of motherfuckers to take that shit right now.
100%. I ain't taking that, bro. I don't trust the government. I'm not taking that, dog. I'm not taking it. And if I was one of those,
I can't say you're wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for this shit, man. Like I said it on my show, I'm rooting for this shit. I hope it works because we need this shit. Like for real. Like a whole nother year, this shit is for the birds. So I'm hoping that damn shot. I'm hoping that shot is amazing. It works. It does wonders. All three of them. However many there are. Because I know Moderna got their shot out now, and I think somebody else is coming out with another vaccine.
I ain't gonna be nobody's guinea pig, yo.
Now, I ain't saying, again, like I said on my podcast, I ain't saying sign up tomorrow to go get the shot. I'm saying you got to give it a couple months, give it a couple months. let the first wave of people get them and see if it comes out right before you go out and get it. But I just hope the vaccine works, man. That's just all I'm hoping, because we need it.
Let me see what other things that I see that really had me perked up. I'm gonna go a little bit younger than the NBA. B, did you see Amani Bates go back to Texas?
Yeah.
And get revenge.
Yeah.
Hey, that nigga.
Yeah,
Hey,
man. I keep my eye on Amani Bates, man.
Man, dude, that dude is so next. I'm telling you, he KD 2.0. Like, and I was watching the No Chill Gill podcast.
Yeah.
And
did you see what he said about with me and you? The exact same thing me and you been saying about Giannis, dude. You remember what he was talking about?
Yeah. Gilbert Arenas? Yeah. Like, come on, man. He's not a half-court player, bro. And until he develops that, I don't care how many MVPs.
It's obvious. It's obvious now. Like, you can't even like.
But me and FIFO called that shit like
years.
When everybody was so fascinated with Greek freak. We're like, yo, he got to get him a half-court game, because if you don't get him a half-court game, he's not going to be successful.
Nope.
In the postseason.
Yeah, you in the postseason, because you can get all the 60, 65 teams all you want.
Right.
But you ain't gonna get no chip like that, bro. You not. It's impossible. It's impossible.
The game is different when it get to playoffs, man. It's different.
You can't win like that.
The only way I can see his style of play working as currently constructed is if they get another guy. They get a closer. They get another guy that can take the offensive pressure off of him in the fourth quarter. Outside of that,
isn't it interesting that Giannis and James Harden kind of sort of need each other?
I said it on the show. I said, James, if I were James Harden and I was really serious about trying to win a championship, why not?
I'd be like, yo, ship me to Milwaukee.
It's so interesting because they had that little beef over the All-Star break
the MVP.
a couple years ago and all that, and now it's kind of like they might
need each other. I would, if I was Harden, I would go to Milwaukee, man. I know he's not going to want to go to Milwaukee, but I'm just saying that's where I see that more as a fit than even Brooklyn. I've never seen Brooklyn as a fit.
No, 100%.
And even Philly,
well, here's the thing. So if we're talking Harden and Joel Embiid, then hell yeah, like that.
It's a better fit.
It's a match made in heaven, but it works. It definitely works. But look, man, Giannis. On the topic of Giannis, and I saw highlights of that first game, and he came down and shot an air ball 3. Giannis is going to be the greatest player to never win a championship unless he teams up. And with that contract that he just signed, nobody is going to give up the assets that is going to require to make the money match. Therefore, Giannis is going to pay his prime years in Milwaukee. And it's not a free agent destination. He's not going to win. He's just not going to win no championship. And you know what? Here's the thing, though. I don't want to say like it's guaranteed that he's not going to win a championship, because we've seen him improve his game, and he's still, his ceiling is still higher. Like, look at what he's doing, and he don't have no half-court game. So it's not beyond him developing one. It's just that. Is how many years is it now? And we don't even have a semblance of it. Like, it's not like you even posting dudes up and drop stepping and dunking on people. Like, you don't have a half court game at all. So that's the issue. That's the problem. But if he improves his game in the half court, yeah, he could win in Milwaukee because he's that damn freakish. But without help of another star like a James Harden, like a Joel Embiid, or somebody that can just go get buckets in a half court, he's not winning no chip.
I still don't know about that, though. I think that they were a lot closer than we thought in adding who they add? Holiday?
They added Drew.
Holiday. I think adding Drew, man, it's gonna be bigger than we think. Drew gonna put some buckets in there.
I would feel better about that team had they pulled off the Bogdanovich move. Had they pulled off the Bogdanovich move, I would have felt a lot better about that team.
But I said, even as constructed, though, this is not a bad team. They just really needed another scorer. They needed somebody to take the pressure off of. I think Middleton is going to be improved because of Drew Holiday. There's not as much pressure for him to be number 2, if that makes sense. So in saying that, I think his game is going to step up just enough to where it's going to work a little bit better. Now
they just need Giannis to take the next step, man. Giannis needs to take the next step. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that team, if he takes the next step, I think that team can win a championship. As currently constructed.
Let me ask you this though: when we look at the dynamic duos of this era of NBA basketball, where does Giannis and Drew land? They're not top 5. They're not. They're barely top 10.
But if you look at the trio, I don't think Drew is going to be automatic dynamic duo, but I think the 3 of them can play well together, if that makes sense.
So let me ask this: so who is who's the Robin to Giannis's Batman then?
Middleton.
Is it Chris Middleton or is it Drew?
Middleton.
I think it'll depend on the night. That's what I'm saying more than anything. I don't think there's a true Robin.
Based off the money is Middleton.
But I think based off the game, depending on what particular night it is, we know some nights Middleton is not going to have it. But the problem they had before is they didn't have anybody else to step into that third spot. So now you have an extra player. So say Middleton is off, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of count on Drew to kind of get those buckets that are missing in there. So now you can get, on any given night, Drew could get you 25. I mean, he ain't going to do it often, but he'll get you, he can get you 20. And, you know what I'm saying? And saying that, that takes some of the pressure, like I said, off of Middleton and off of Giannis, because you have that third scorer in there. But Middleton,
not to mention a playmaker. He's also a playmaker. Right. Drew Holiday is a better point guard. He's an upgrade over Bledsoe and Hill, which I think is important.
For
So
sure.
I think he helps in 2 departments and defensively as well. So, I mean, I still think it's Middleton. Middleton still has that takeover ability, because Middleton, when he's hot, he can take over a game. He can score 35, 30, 40 points with it, like the best of them. He's not consistent enough over a stretch of period where you can count on him every night to do that, right? That's the problem with Middleton. But yeah, I still think he's the Robin right now. But I think Milwaukee's got a good situation, man, because they don't necessarily need a legitimate Robin every night. They have 2 guys who can be 2 and 3 or 2A and 2B, however you want to look at it. So I mean, look, they're close, and they still got Brook Lopez there too. He can kind of.
So I got a question. I got a question.
Still be that guy.
I got a question. Is around Giannis. How come Giannis don't have a jump hook?
That's a great question. How come Ben Simmons still hasn't learned how to shoot? Like I could ask these questions about a lot of dudes in the NBA.
But you know what though? But Ben Simmons knows how to finish around the basket with his back to the basket. I'm not saying like that's his game and he just dominates people, but the man has a jump hook with both hands. When I'm thinking of Giannis's game, I'm like, how can we simplify the half court game? Because now you have Drew, right? So to me, Giannis is a mismatched nightmare against anybody not named KD or LeBron or Kawhi. Everybody else, bro, he gonna get bucket. He gonna feast.
I agree.
So how come in a half court, why can't we run some type of motion to get Giannis either in the low post or mid post and just have him take 2 dribbles? Oh, the double team is coming from your left shoulder. Just go over your right shoulder with a left jump hook. Boom, you find.
I agree. I mean,
it comes,
man. I don't know why he hasn't developed it yet.
Because it seems like some of these players just don't work out with the right people in the offseason. Like I would go to school with Akeem. If I was him, I'd be on Akeem's hip.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Those players like that, you get with those guys, those veterans, those legends. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is like an untapped well of resource that these players, I don't never hear nobody saying that they work with Kareem in the summer. Why in the world would you not work with Kareem? That would be where I would live, next door to him, just so I can soak up some of that knowledge. That's a wasted resource. And these guys don't do it like that. Yeah, they may work out in the summer. It's something funny. My brother sent me a meme, and we were talking about a particular player that we talk about all the time that just say they putting in the work. You're always posting pictures on Instagram in the gym, but just because you're in the gym don't mean you're putting in the right kind of work. It's a different type of workout for each player. And if you're in the gym every day, people think that that's it. I'm shooting basketball and lifting weights. That's not it. No. You need to be working on where your deficiencies moves. And you need to be working on things to get you better at the things you can't do and even better at the things you're great at. That's what you need to do. Have targeted workouts so you can be that next move to the next level.
You know who I think is one of the best people that I enjoy watching when they work out?
Who is that?
And I wish Nick was on the show right now. Carmelo Anthony.
Oh,
Carmelo puts in work on what he's great at. If you ever watch his workout videos,
crazy.
The man that jab pull up get, oh my God, like he still got it. And I still say this about Carmelo, and you know, you can agree or disagree with me, I don't give a damn. He still got the prettiest jumper in the league. I'm not saying the best, the most. It's, to me, it's the prettiest jumper in the league. It's so quick, it's so efficient. You know what I'm saying? Like, Carmelo, and see, people always think I be hating on Melo, but I always just said Melo just gotta adapt. Like, you're not the guy no more. You can have moments, but you're just not the guy every night. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing that Melo understands. He's like, okay, I could play off a Dame. I can get 12 points.
I think he's going to find his second career playing in Portland, playing off the bench, playing that microwave role. I think this is best for him, and I actually think he's gonna find his second career doing this.
But the reason, and you're right, man, and the reason for that is the reason what FIFA just said. Because of his workout. He's doing it. He's doing it. That's why we talk about Steph. That's the thing about Steph that we don't mention. The amount of time that Steph puts into his game, and you know, his dad was a pro. And his dad was a pro's pro. He's one of the greatest shooters to ever live as a father. So in saying that, he gave him the tools, and Steph hung around those guys. So he got everything he needed to be the next thing. And everything that people say he couldn't do, he worked on. And that's where a lot of these players go wrong. Like I said, you take a Giannis, he doesn't have the knowledge to go out, I guess, and get somebody to help him get to the next level. And that's what these players lack.
And you know, Shelton, you mentioned Steph. It was interesting. I remember watching a video where they were where Dell was talking, and he was telling what college did Steph go to? Davidson. And he said when Steph went to Davidson, the coach called Dell and said, "Hey, your son is going to make a lot of money playing this game." And he looked at him like, nah, like, you know, he could shoot, but he's not that nice. And that's his dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that just shows you the amount of work that Steph put in, because Steph, like, if you go back and watch him at Davidson, he was a little loose, you know what I'm saying, with the ball. The first game he played that the coach started him, Steph had like 8 turnovers in the first quarter. In the first half, you know, it's college basketball. He had like 8 turnovers in the first half. And people were like, yeah, man, he's not what you think he is. And I think it proves not only do you have to put in the work, but you got to be around people that believe in you to put you in those positions to be great, because it could have been so easy for Steph to mail it in and be like, man, I'm just a shooter. I'm just this. I'm just that. Everybody's right. Like, I'm just chill in the corner. I'm going to just work only on shooting. You're already great at that. But what separated Steph, obviously, is the work ethic. But look at the work he put in. The man, naturally, to me, I still think Kyrie's the best outside of Rod Strickland under the basket finisher and AI that we've seen. And to me, when you watch Kyrie, it's more natural, like the flair he has. But when you watch Steph, what's unnatural is his touch, right? Yeah. But Steph wasn't around the basket finisher like that. He added that to the game to complement the fact that you got to guard me from 40 feet. He added that. The dribbling, when he first got into the league, he wasn't that crafty with the dribbling. Not saying he couldn't dribble, but he wasn't doing what he's doing now. You got to work on those things to, again, Shelton, to your point, to increase what you naturally do best already. And if you don't do that, you're gonna be a one-trick pony.
An even greater example is Seth. You take Seth,
100%.
Seth at Duke was a shell of what he is now, and you can tell. Like I said, he was unathletic. He was a decent player. Don't get me wrong, but he came from Liberty to go to Duke, and it was a big jump. And he worked his way up to at least be a good player on that team. But now in the league, Seth is better than average. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he's coming off the bench. That's another guy we need to mention for 6th man of the year as well. But Seth is a baller, and he's hard to stop. He's as close to he's up there, and he worked on his game to develop a game, and now he has a place in the league, no matter what.
Yep. If you're talking top 5, top 10 shooters in the league, we're just talking pure, because like KD is a scorer, Kyrie's a scorer, but we're talking pure shooters. Seth is definitely top 5, top 10. And if he's not, then you don't watch basketball. I can't listen to your opinion if you don't agree with that.
He's a Curry, man. That shit it's in his DNA, man. It's in his DNA. I don't care if he can't do nothing else. You can trust him.
He gonna shoot that thing. Yep.
Facts. Oh.
He gonna shoot that thing.
Yeah.
I think that's everything, all right?
Somebody else in the chat asked who had the best uniforms of the year. And my answer was Miami Heat. I love that Miami Heat uniform.
The Vice, yeah, that's the
Somebody said that the Phoenix Suns uniform is nice, and I just looked it up too.
I don't like the new uniform. I don't like the Suns joints.
I like the Hawks joint.
I like the Hawks. Okay, you like the MLK joints, FIFO?
I like what the Hawks do. I feel like Atlanta, I feel like there's not every team isn't always representative of the city, just in how everything is.
I have to see all the uniforms to be the judge. Like I have to see every single team's uniforms.
Charlotte has nice ones too. They have like
they do.
They're real classy. No, they have.
The pinstripe.
Yeah, they have a pinstripe with gold pinstripes. It's like it's the Hornets teal color, but gold pinstripes. It looks good too. It looks good.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. Nike taking over the NBA was it like 3-4 years ago now? Like that was one of the best things that the NBA could have done. And even the NFL too. I agree. Because when we're talking about athletic apparel, Nike is by far the number one apparel company. And for them to have, the type of input and kind of modernize like football and basketball jerseys, that's huge, man.
Yeah.
Yes, so there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. It's not basketball. I wanted to talk about the Miami Dolphins, man. I was trying to watch that game, me being at work and stuff, so it was here or there, and I saw, a couple plays, but I know we talked about like a week or two ago who gave the Dolphins the better opportunity to win, and everybody I want to say said the old man Fitz. And what did we see Tua do? Tua played a damn hell of a game. I think that, he still got the training wheels on. The whole offense isn't there yet for him. And I don't think that they have the type of weapons that you need to surround him with just yet. But we saw Mike Gesicki, starting to build that chemistry with Tua. We know that defense is legit. Because when you can hold Kansas City to what they did in that first half and make Pat Mahomes throw 3 picks, 2 of them wasn't all the way his fault. 1 of them was. But at the end of the day, man, I really like what the Dolphins got going, and I think they made the right decision with sticking with Tua.
I agree. He really does look good, and he looks confident. I think that this is setting them up for next year.
100%.
Yeah, I think that next year they're gonna be some major players in that division and in their conference.
The NFL.
Yeah, NFL period.
Because here's the thing. So look at how good the Dolphins look right now, and they're gonna have 2 first-round picks, their own and the Texans. So like I said, they're not necessarily devoid of talent on the outside. Obviously, Jakeem Grant is a burner. Devontae Parker, he's nice. But if you can go get you one of these bona fide, like a Jamar Chase or somebody like that, like a legit, guy that's gonna go get it, Miami's gonna be a problem. And I think they need a running back too. I think they need somebody in the backfield that scares you. Like we gotta put another guy in the box type of guy. But no, man, I like Miami. That was the last thing I got, man. I had to get that off my chest, man. I read 305 till I die.
Right. Bet money. I think that's all we have for tonight, man. I think that's pretty much it.
Cool. All right, so who did the intro? Who gonna do the outro?
Nick did the intro, so you got to do the outro, FIFO.
Damn. So y'all just gonna lob it up like that? I didn't even know you threw the ball. All right, man. We appreciate you guys. You already know that is Sports, the place where sports opinions collide. I was kind of sort of your host that came in late as hell because he has a 9 to 5.
Hold on, FIFO. I forgot one thing, man. My mom is probably watching right now, and she would kill me if I don't mention, man, if you are in this area, in the Georgia area, make sure you get out and vote. If you haven't voted yet, get out and vote. Do the early voting thing. We got to get it done, and we got to make this happen. This is probably the most important vote of the year, and we just got to get out and make sure we take care of our business and do that. That's very important.
Hey, look, all I'm gonna say is, do y'all want y'all student loan debt wiped out? Yeah, get them Democrats in that Congress, yo. Get them in that Senate.
That's it, baby.
Get them in there. Get them in there.
It.
But yeah, man, Shelton, we appreciate that shout out. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? We on some grown people stuff and go handle business when it comes to that. You know, for me, for Shelton, for BZ430, for Mr. Brown himself, man, look, it's been Dead in Sports. We appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. We out. Peace.
Peace. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you hadn't, and tell somebody, man. Please bring somebody on with you when you come on. Thank y'all.
BZ, get us off of YouTube.
What
BZ.
We waiting on BZ to come back.
Can you text her for me?
Hey, BZ take more breaks than Lamar. He got another cramp.
Oh man. And that was such a wild game.
Uh-huh.
That reminded me of what game was that the Rams were involved in a couple of years ago? That was a big time shootout.
Oh man.
Was it the Chiefs or was it the Patriots? Was it the Packers? It was. I can't remember the opponent, but it reminded me of that game. Like that was
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about too, and I can't think to save my life right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the people getting bonus. Fuck it. It is what it is. I feel like this was Baker's coming out party. I feel like I couldn't be disrespectful to Baker and the rest of the season based off of his performance. It felt like a step forward game.
Oh, Tony Pereira, thank you for that. He said the Chiefs. That was the Rams and the Chiefs game.
Rams and Chiefs. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it felt like. That's what this game felt like. And even bigger, I feel like it all of that cockiness that Baker Mayfield had, it feels like he was able to focus it and be like, Lamar, you're not gonna outdo me. And every throw, every play he needed to make, he did it, and he looked like, dare I say, a star quarterback. Like he kind of looked like that, and that was a little surprising for me because y'all know how I feel about Baker.
Yeah, I know, and he just played good. That's all I got to say. I mean, a clock is wrong. A dead clock is right twice a day or something like that. So he gonna have a good game every now and again, man. I just don't think it's gonna be consistent.
No, 100. Hey, I still reserve all the doubts that I've been had, but this felt different than just a good game. It like I said, it felt like a step forward. It felt like almost like an aha moment. Not saying that now he's gonna go be Pat Mahomes and on Lamar Jackson's level or nothing like that. But it felt like it's like he found who he's supposed to be as a quarterback. That's just what it felt like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But watching a lot of the Browns this season, and especially more highlights than anything. I don't really watch a lot of Browns whole games, but I agree with you too, Shelton. I think Kareem Hunt is the more talented back. Not saying Nick Chubb is a scrub because he's the more physical of the two.
Right.
But man, there was that pass that Kareem caught. It was a double move. It was he ran like an out, and then he turned it up. And the way he caught that looked like a wide receiver.
Yes, it did. You saw it?
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. I was so thankful. Let me tell you, man, I was down. I was playing fantasy, and I needed – he was my last hope. So he got me like 23 points, and then he was projected to do like 10, And I'm thinking with the way they've been using him, man, this dude been getting about 7 points a game. I'm like, I'm done. And I was watching the game, of course, but it came down to that last drive, and I was like, man, I think I was 8 yards away from victory. And I was like, you go give him the ball. But when they went down, I was like, they gotta throw the ball. And that's what saved me because Nick Chubb was playing great. I didn't think they would take Chubb out. But him coming in saved me.
Yeah, and I also think Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, has finally stabilized the Browns organization, and the reason why I say that is, for the longest, you know what I'm saying, especially since they drafted Baker and, you know, obviously they drafted Myles Garrett, they traded for OBJ, they got Jarvis, they got Njoku, they got all these guys.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, so what are you? Like what's your identity? Like what is, like, what do we know? Like every week in, week out, what are we going to get? And I think that finally Kevin Stefanski is like, yo, we are a power run team. And that's, and we're gonna play some defense. You know, I think their defense is underachieved based off of the talent that they have on that defense, but they've been good enough to be as good as their record is. You know what I'm saying? And be in the hunt for a legitimate playoff berth. And I have to give all of the credit to the head coach. You know what I'm saying? And also you look at how from the beginning of the season to what are we now? Week 12, 13, something like that. In the regular season.
I think week 14, because we got 2 more 14.
Games left. Yeah. So when you see the progression of the Browns from week to week, you know, like you see it opening up a little bit more. The offense is opening up a little bit more. And you can see that they're giving Baker is starting to get it more. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not saying that he's the next great, but it feels like, okay, there's tread on the tire now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't running on no ball joints.
And the best thing that could have happened to him was OBJ getting hurt. That was addition by subtraction all day long. Him getting hurt is what made the difference. The pressure was completely off at that point.
Yeah.
And they had more balance in the offense too. So that was, they've always had some really, really good play calling. They put him in positions to win. They're running the ball first. We're gonna run the ball because that's who we are, and we're gonna play action pass. It's play action pass game now. Now Baker, play action pass wise. Oh my gosh, he's one of the best. Yeah. He's one of the best at play action pass throwing. But you know, just regular drop back passing, that's not his strong suit at all, and that's what hurts him. But you know, something I thought about when I was watching that game was, dang man, if Kareem Hunt was still with Kansas City today. Imagine that team with Kareem Hunt as the lead back. That would be ridiculous. Because Kareem Hunt with Patrick Mahomes, this Kareem Hunt with this Patrick Mahomes,
it's a problem because it's basically you mold Le'Veon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire together, and that's what Kareem Hunt is. Yeah, because you know what it like. Kareem Hunt is one of those unique running backs that has power, agility, grace, and hands. It's not many backs that know that have that type of skill set. I think one of the last ones I seen that was like that was Marshall Faulk. And Marshall Faulk didn't have the level of physicality that Kareem Hunt does. And I'm not saying Marshall was no, pretty, like he wouldn't put his shoulder down, but he didn't have the type of power Kareem Hunt has.
Right. Yep.
Gizmo, come on. Gizmo.
Man, I tried to catch Ken.
Yeah. Yo, B, man. Hang us up off of YouTube, man. We don't already get enough bonus.
Ken has to log us off.
Oh, man. So yesterday we couldn't get on. Now we can't get off.
So everybody, man, we just gonna sign off, man. Let it run.
Well, I'm about to bounce. I love y'all. I'm out.
Peace. I appreciate it. Me too. All right, later.